People in Douluo can travel across all realms. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1 Systems. Douluo Continent. On the back hill of Holy Soul Village. 135. 136. 137. Little tree, your body won't be able to bear it before you get stronger. Tang San said with a frown. The kid in front of him, who is the same age as him, can be said to be his first friend in this world, and the other person has the same thinking as him. That is much higher than his peers. It doesn't matter. I don't care about it, Yunshu said with difficulty. His stubborn little face flushed red. 103, 10, 9, 104. But in the end it still didn't reach 104. Yunshu seemed to have lost all his strength and lay motionless on the ground. Little tree, Tang San exclaimed when he saw it, and quickly ran over to turn Yunshu over. Thank you so much. I almost suffocated myself, Yunshu panted after taking a deep breath. I don't have a cheat. I'm afraid this is the only way to keep up with your footsteps. Yunshu lay on the ground looking at Tang San and said with a smile. Cheat? What is a cheat? Tang San showed a puzzled expression on his small face. Yunshu, it's a time travel. It should be considered rebirth plus time traveling, but he doesn't know exactly how he came to this world, because the first time he woke up, he found that he had been picked up by the old man Jack, the village head of Holy Soul Village up. It's a pity that only Yunshu knows that he is not from this world at all, because his current appearance is exactly what he looked like when he was a child. Yunshu felt that he should not be from this world, so he had no martial soul and soul power. At most he could be regarded as a stronger ordinary person. Little San, help me. Yunshu raised his hand, asking Tang San to pull him up. He has not learned the correct exercise method, so he will carry out high intensity training every day, and he will not stop until the last bit of strength in his body is exhausted. Anyway, there are medicines that can restore the body in this world. As long as they can establish a good relationship with Tang San, then the fairy grass will be automatically delivered to Yunshu's mouth. Little tree, if you go on like this, you may leave many hidden injuries to your body in the future. Tang San was a martial artist in his previous life, so he could easily see how much Yunshu's training method hurt his body. But Yunshu didn't give up. He had to use this self-harming method to train. It may not feel anything now, but as you get older, the consequences will become more and more obvious. It's you. Yunshu smiled and bowed to Tang San's shoulder. I don't know how to cure diseases. What can I do for you? Tang San felt that Yunshu was so strange today and said some things he couldn't understand. The spirit will be awakened in a few days, even if it is to become a soul master. Physical fitness is very important, Yunshu said to Tang San, but only he knew that his body in another world was simply impossible. Awaken the martial soul. In fact, Yunshu's current physical fitness has already surpassed Tang San, and it stands to reason that he should be able to beat Tang San, but he just can't beat Tang San. Because Tang San has the internal force blessing of Zuanshan Kung Fu, coupled with martial arts such as Ziji Demon Eyes, Ghost Shadow Mist Tracking, Crane Control and Dragon Capture, he beat Yunshu in minutes. How do you know? Tang San asked doubtfully. This, of course I heard what old Jack said. Yunshu quickly lifted the village chief Jack out and said. Really? It seems that I will also exercise with you in the future. Comrade Tang San said with a smile. That's a good relationship. You are so powerful, you can guide me by the way. Yunshu followed with a smile. The two of them put their shoulders on each other and returned to the Holy Soul Village. Sigh, what kind of unlucky thing sent me to this world? Just send me a soul wearer. Why bother to bring my body with me? Yunshu thought to himself. My ordinary body does not have martial soul at all, because martial soul has always been inherited from my parents, and my parents are just ordinary people in another world. Where did the martial soul come from? Ding. The system is activated. System. Damn it, got. So you haven't given up on me. Yunshu, who was resting on the mountain behind Tang San after eating, suddenly sat up in shock and said excitedly. Fortunately Tang San wasn't here at this time. He only came to the back mountain to practice. When he got up in the morning, the new Coma gift pack has been delivered. A golden gift box emitting golden light suddenly appeared in front of Yunshu. Yunshu untied the ribbon on it, and unexpectedly, 3 small golden gift boxes popped out. Don't tell me that these 3 will become 9 again. Yunshu suddenly turned black and said to the system. The novice gift pack contains 3 items. That's good. Yunshu was afraid that he would play with his 6-year-old friend after watching too many entertainment videos in the system. Yunshu first untied the first small golden gift box on the left. Ding. Congratulations on getting a Wuhan lottery machine. Martial Soul lottery machine? Yunshu looked confused. End of this chapter. Chapter 2 acquired twin Martial Souls. Martial Soul lottery machine? Yunshu was stunned. What the hell is this? Ding. The host can pull down the joystick at any time, and the first dropped Martial Soul will fuse with the host. Is it so high-end? Yunshu was taken aback. Is the current system so good at playing? Yunshu looked at the countless colorful balls of light in the lottery machine, and he couldn't see anything. Forget it. It's time to look at your face. Yunshu closed his eyes, counted silently for 3 seconds, and then pulled down the joystick vigorously. Soon, a blue ball of light rolled down the pipe. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the mutated Wangyoucao Martial Soul. The soul-snatching Wangyoucao. Fusion is in progress. My sky blue is such a top-quality martial spirit, and the gold is worth it. Yunshu exclaimed as he looked at the blue ball of light that had merged into his body. Although I don't know what color the martial arts inside are ranked according to, but the golden color looks majestic, and it must surpass the blue light ball. Moreover, the martial soul of the plant type is not necessarily weak, not to mention that he is still a mutated plant type. It can also be used as an auxiliary martial soul. HMM. Wuhan fusion doesn't feel like it. Yunshu looked at the ball of light entering his body, but didn't feel anything at all, and said with some doubts. It doesn't matter, there are 2 more to continue. Ding. Congratulations on getting 10 cubic meters of system storage space. System space. It's a good thing. Yunshu murmured. The storage space is much safer than the soul guide. Soul guides are accessories and the like, while the storage spaces in his body will not be dropped by actions such as combat. Let me be Kang. What is the last thing? After finishing speaking, Yunshu untied the last small gift box. Ding. Congratulations on winning the top Soul Power lottery ticket. Soul Power. Return the lottery tickets? Yunshu was speechless again. The lottery machine is nothing more than that. Adding this lottery ticket now makes Yunshu feel a little uneasy. This system can't be named Ma. System, what's the situation with this Soul Power lottery ticket? The soul power drawn from the soul power lottery ticket can be directly used to improve one's own soul power level. Soul power lottery tickets are divided into 5 levels: low level, intermediate, high level, top level, and supreme. Low level lottery tickets can be drawn between 0-0.5 level soul power. Intermediate lottery tickets can be drawn between 0.52 level soul power. Advanced lottery tickets can be drawn between 2-5 levels of soul power. Top level lottery tickets can be drawn between 5-10 level soul power. Supreme lottery tickets can be drawn between 1015 level soul power. The lottery ticket I got is still very rare. Yunshu saw that the top level soul power lottery ticket could actually increase so much soul power and was immediately very satisfied. Use. Ding. Congratulations on getting level 7 soul power. Improving. This time, Yunshu felt the increase in soul power. A strange energy was entering the body from the outside world. Is this the 7th level of soul power? I have been exercising for more than 2 years, and it is not as good as the novice gift package given by a system today. I'm heartbroken. What the hell do I need to exercise? Yunshu got up, patted his butt and said cursingly, "System, tell me about your functions." Yunshu thought for a while, and lay down again. Ding. Every time the host defeats the opponent, he will get a corresponding reward. The stronger the opponent is, the richer the rewards will be. The host's birthday will receive a birthday gift package. Please set the birthday date. Birthday gift pack? Yunshu looked at the introduction of the system and then remembered that he had never celebrated his birthday since he came to Douluo. Although I know my birthday, why not set it as today? Yunshu set his birthday as today. Ding. Congratulations on getting the birthday gift bag. Open. Congratulations on getting a Wuhan lottery machine. Again. Yunshu was really surprised and delighted. He never thought that he could have twin martial souls in this life. He thought that the Wuhan lottery machine was only a reward for the first time novice gift pack, but he didn't expect to get another one. Go. Yunshu couldn't wait to see his second martial soul. Pull down the joystick. A purple ball of light rolled down the pipe. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the weapon soul. 7-star Dragon Yuan. It is merging. Damn. Lanquan sword. I love my good system. Yunshu felt a wave of heat rushing towards his face when he saw that his second martial soul turned out to be the Lanquan sword. It seems that the martial soul of the purple Lanquan sword is obviously stronger than the mutated Wangyoucao martial soul. Haha. We also have twin spirits. Yunshu said excitedly when he came to the edge of the cliff, looking at the scenery down the mountain with his hands on his hips. Little tree. Grandpa Jack called you back for dinner. Tang San's voice came from a distance. Coming. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Little tree. Tomorrow is the day when Wuhan awakens. You must not run around until it's over. Jack looked at Yunshu who was cooking rice in a pot and said earnestly. I know Grandpa Jack. Yunshu still lowered his head to cook. There was no way. He had exercised too much before, causing him to eat nearly double the amount of Old Man Jack every day. If it wasn't for him occasionally asking Tang San to accompany him to hunt, Old Jack would have been poor by him long ago. Although Yunshu would be chased by wild beasts every time he hunted before, he never tired of it. Anyway, Tang San would help him deal with those wild beasts. But starting today, Yunshu is no longer afraid of wild beasts, because the system has already awakened his martial soul for him, so he can just join in the fun at the martial soul awakening ceremony tomorrow, and then directly light up his Wangyoucao for this blind Douluo. Suyuntao took a look. It would be more perfect if this world didn't have Wangyoucao. As long as Suyuntao, the traitor of the Wuhan temple, is recognized as a useless Wuhan, then the strength of his titled Douluo will be stable, and Yunshu doesn't have to worry about it. 3. Let's go out and play. Yunshu came to Tang San's house again, after finishing his meal. Before the Wuhan awakened, Tang San's daily task was to get up at night, to practice Zuanshan Kung Fu and Ziji demonize, and then come back, to cook for his father. The whole day after that was Tang San's free time except cooking time. And Yunshu got up very late every day, so when he got up, Tang San had already practiced, and went home to have breakfast. Tang San was also alone at home, doing nothing and occasionally recalling his past life, because Tang San was in the village. Just a friend. The other children Tang San felt that they were too childish, and had no common language, only Yunshu could talk to him. Uncle Tang Heo? You didn't sleep today. After entering, Yunshu saw Tang San's father, the youngest titled Douluo, drinking at this time. Tang Heo didn't seem to want to speak, so he glanced at Yunshu lightly. 3. Let's go. Seeing that Tang San had helped Tang Heo warm up the wine, Yunshu glanced at Tang San. Go, don't delay cooking at noon. Tang Heo said lightly. Good dad. Little tree, what did you call me out for today? Tang San asked doubtfully, looking at Yunshu's mysterious appearance. It's been a long time since I made gestures, so I asked you to come out to play today. Yunshu smiled slightly. If he can defeat Tang San at this stage, he should also be rewarded. You want to compete with me? Tang San said in surprise. Although Yunshu's physical fitness is stronger than his, but fighting is not just based on physical fitness. He could defeat Yunshu without using Ghost Shadow Mizan and Ziji Demon Eye, and he didn't know what he was thinking. That's right. Yunshu smiled slightly. Soul power cannot be used before the martial soul is awakened, so Yunshu is not that disadvantaged compared to Tang San now. After all, he can use soul power to fight. Alright then. Tang San spread his hands helplessly, motioning for Yunshu to attack. Drink. Yunshu stepped forward resolutely. Compared with his previous speed, he was like a snail or a cheetah, completely different. What? Tang San was startled by Yunshu's astonishing speed. He didn't even react when Yunshu came in front of him. Boom. Yunshu slammed Tang San's head on the forehead, and he didn't hit that punch, because before when Tang San and himself competed, they hit the point and never hit hard. Ding. Defeat the young Tang San and get a low-level lottery ticket. Little tree. Why did your speed suddenly become so fast? Tang San said in shock. I tell you, you can't tell others. Yunshu pulled Tang San to a hidden place. Secretly tell you, my martial spirit has awakened. Yunshu opened his right hand and released a light red flower. The petals were still surrounded by a faint black aura. Wangyoucao is said to be grass, but it is actually a flower. Is this your martial soul? It's so beautiful. Tang San looked at the Wangyoucao in Yunshu's hand and suddenly became in a trance. Little San. Yunshu patted Tang San's face and said doubtfully, why does this guy look like he's been charmed? Yunli immediately put away the forget you grass. Only then did Tang San realize that he was so frightened that he sat down on the ground. Little tree. What happened to me just now? Tang San said in shock. You didn't respond to what I called you just now, and you didn't recover until I put away the forget sorrow grass. Yunshu was also shocked. This mutated soul snatching forget sorrow grass. Soul snatching. Exclamation mark. Maybe that's what it means. Yunshu said in shock. I feel like my whole soul was attracted by your martial spirit just now. I can't extricate myself. Tang San said in amazement. Your spirit seems to be very powerful. What kind of flower is this? Tang San asked. It's a flower called Wangyoucao. I've never heard of it. Anyway, her name automatically appeared in my mind after the Wuhan awakened. Yunshu pretended to be depressed and said. What? Forget worry grass. End of this chapter. Chapter 4 Blind Fight Rusuyanteo. What? Forget worry grass. Tang San suddenly looked shocked after hearing Yunshu's words. He didn't know if there was such a plant as forgetfulness grass in this world, but in his world, forgetfulness grass was a legendary fetish that only existed in legends. In Tang San's memory, the forget worry grass is a kind of fetish that only exists in the sky. It only takes a little bit of this thing to make people forget their troubles. If the dose is enough, it can directly wipe out all the feelings of a person. The Wangyoucao that Yunshu just took out just smelled the slightest smell and almost made him fall into it, which shows how dangerous this thing is. You know? Yunshu looked at Tang San curiously. Of course he knew what it was, but in order not to reveal his identity, Yunshu still pretended not to understand. Well, a plant that exists in legends. Tang San didn't say much, but just told Yunshu that this plant was amazing. Really? Yunshu made a surprised expression when he heard it. Xiaoshu, let's fight again. This time it was Tang San's turn to propose. He just didn't realize that he was defeated by Yunshu just because he was surprised, so he wanted to find his way back and fight Yunshu again. No problem. Yunshu agreed. Often fighting is good for physical and mental health. Sure enough, Tang San is still very good when he is serious. In this competition, he not only used ghost shadow fascination and controlling cranes and catching dragons that he had never used before, but also used hidden weapons, embarrassing people with stones. Yunshu was almost able to win, but it was a pity that he was defeated by Tang San's martial arts. It seems that my strength has surpassed that of ordinary people of normal age. Yunshu thought to himself. After all, Tang San, who is a relative, has practiced Zuanshan Kung Fu and various martial arts for 6 years. And I have only been in good health for more than 2 years. The next day, Xiaoshu, it's time to awaken the martial spirit. Let's call Xiao-san. Old Jack led Yunshu to Tang San's house. Little San, Grandpa is here to pick you up. Here we come. After a while, Tang San's voice came out from inside, presumably asking for Tang Heio's permission. Xiaoshu, you're here too? Tang San said in surprise, after seeing Yunshu. Why can't I be here? Yunshu raised his eyebrows and said, aren't you? Yunshu suddenly covered Tang San's mouth. He forgot to tell Tang San yesterday, asking him to help hide the fact that his martial spirit had awakened. Yunshu pulled Tang San aside. Grandpa Jack, wait a moment, I have something to tell him. My martial soul is awakened, so don't tell others. I still want to see your martial soul. Yunshu said to Tang San in a low voice. Is it necessary to hide this kind of thing? Tang San didn't understand. After all, you just went to expose it to others. You don't understand. Remember to keep it secret. Yunshu patted Tang San on the shoulder and put his arms around him, followed old Jack to the team of Spirit Awakening. The awakening of the Wuhan is all operated by the people of the Wuhan Palace, and if Yunshu is discovered, he doesn't know who to blame. Who made him never leave Holy Soul Village? Soon, Yunshu saw the traitor of the Wuhan Temple, the blind Douluo Suyanteo. Hello, respected Soul Master, I'm going to trouble you again this time. Jack said respectfully, because in the eyes of ordinary people, a Soul Master is a particularly noble existence. Well, I don't have much time, let's start now. Suyanteo looked at the children in front of him, as if wondering if any of them could become Soul Masters. Several people looked at Suyanteo's method of remotely opening the door in surprise, and then walked in. Kids, stand in a row. Soon, Yunshu and Tang San stood on the far right, first to see what it would be like for others to awaken their spirits. After all, this is reality, and it is completely different from anime. Suyanteo threw out 6 stone-like objects, which floated in front of everyone. Remember, don't be afraid of anything you see later. You, come first. Suyanteo pointed to a child who was ranked first. Lone wolf. Possession. A wolf-shaped creature emitting purple light appeared behind Suyanteo. Ah. The kid standing in front of him was so frightened by the wolf that he almost sat down. I said don't be afraid. Suyanteo said quietly, and then made a handprint, and the child among the stones was lifted up by an inexplicable force. Extend your right hand. Your martial soul is a sickle. So this is the exact process. TSK. Yunshu stood at the end of the line and thought to himself looking at the picture. Soon, the next few people finished testing one by one, and finally it was Tang San's turn to the left of Yunshu. Blue silver grass, another useless martial spirit. Suyanteo looked at Tang San with a hint of disappointment in his eyes. Next, Suyanteo looked at the last Yunshu. He had seen before that these two children seemed to be a little different, but unfortunately, Tang San was a useless martial soul. Uncle, you haven't tested my spirit power yet. Tang San said suddenly. The previous ones were all useless spirits, so they didn't test them, so Suyanteo naturally ignored Tang San. There's no need to test it. I haven't seen anyone with a useless martial soul like Wangyoucao who has released soul power. Suyanteo said with a sigh. Uncle, just let me try. Tang San looked at Suyanteo and said seriously. Okay. Suyanteo had no choice but to take out the crystal ball and put it in front of Tang San. However, the moment Tang San touched the crystal ball suddenly emitted a dazzling light. End of this chapter. Chapter 5 Abandoned Martial Soul. Great. This is congenitally full of soul power. Suyanteo cried out in surprise. The children behind were also stunned. They didn't expect that there would be people different from them in the same village. Uncle, what is innate full soul power? Tang San asked doubtfully. Even if the crystal ball emits only a gleam of light, it means that there is soul power in the body, so that the cultivation of soul power can be carried out. If you don't, you will be unable to practice like them for the rest of your life. The higher the level of awakening your soul power, the faster or slower you will cultivate. Innate full soul power represents the highest soul power that can be achieved by innate. Alas, it's a pity, even if your martial soul is a farming tool, as long as it has offensive power, your future must be limitless. But your martial soul just doesn't matter. It's the blue silver grass that can't be cultivated. Is it true that blue silver grass cannot practice cultivation? Tang San seemed unable to accept this fact. Yunshu really wanted to say, if you think too much, and Suyanteo denies it, you will be safe in this life. Alas. Next. Suyanteo shook his head and looked at Yunshu. Yunshu came to the middle of the golden light emitted by the stone, because the system had already helped him awaken his martial soul, so Yunshu just released the Wangyoucao in his right hand. This is. Suyanteo stared at it for a long time, but couldn't see what it was. Sigh. Probably another useless martial soul. Suyanteo sighed and shook his head. Tang San looked at the forgetfulness grass in Yunshu's hand in surprise, then at Su Yunteo. A surge of hope suddenly rose in his heart. This person is so ignorant. Maybe his blue-silver grass spirit can still be cultivated. And Yunshu was overjoyed seeing Su Yunteo like this. All he wanted was for you to shake his head. You should try your soul power too. Su Yunteo took out the crystal ball and handed it to Yunshu. Yunshu shook his head. I don't have any expectations. Yunshu's system can easily see his soul power level, so there is no need to tell them. Moreover, there is only one working student in Holy Soul Village. Yunshu didn't want to make it difficult for Old Jack. After all, one is a child he raised for 6 years, and the other is a genius in the village, who is expected to become a powerful soul master. Dilemma? Alright then. Seeing that Yunshu himself had no idea, Su Yunteo didn't force himself. Okay. You guys go out. Xiaoshu, don't be discouraged. Even if you can't become a soul master, Grandpa can still let you live a good life. After a few years, Grandpa's old bones are gone, and you will be the head of the Holy Soul Village. Jack the old man patted Yunshu on the shoulder and said. Yunshu, who was drinking afternoon tea normally, almost choked on the tea. Who wants to be the village head in this place? It's okay, I can go to Notting City to do a part-time job or something. Yunshu and Old Man Jack said, anyway, as long as you leave the village, as long as your system can fight, no matter if it's a human or an animal or something, you can win. There will be rewards. When the time comes, start hammering from the weak ones. Isn't that how snowballs roll? It's okay, you like to exercise. Since you were a child, you can go to Notting City to find a blacksmith's shop as an apprentice. Old Jack said, after thinking about it. That's just right. I'll send you and Xiaozhen there together. Now I'll go see what Xiaozhen's drunken mother has to say. Yeah. Yunshu didn't intend to go. They were going to quarrel. Yunshu planned to use this time to go to the back mountain to find a wild beast to practice. By the way, brush the rewards. He has already reached the 8th level of soul power, and he will be able to get the soul ring soon. But with his current strength, no matter where he went to the Soul Beast Forest, it was very dangerous, so he had to get a reward that could increase his strength first. System, use the lottery ticket. Yunshu didn't forget the reward for winning Tang San yesterday. He wanted to see what he could get with this low-level lottery ticket. Ding. Congratulations on getting a Desert Eagle. Yunshu looked at the silver pistol in his hand and fell into deep thought. The system was quite considerate and sent him a box of ammunition, which seemed to contain about 40 rounds. After Jack left, Yunshu came to the back mountain alone. There were many wild beasts here. Yunshu couldn't beat them before, but now it's not necessarily so. He became a soul warrior, and it's not so difficult for him to deal with wild beasts. What's more, if you can't fight, don't you still have a pistol? Soon, Yunshu met a wild boar. I met the boss as soon as I came up. Yunshu thought to himself, the strongest in this forest should be the wild boar. Let's see if I can handle it first. Yunshu rolled up his sleeves and looked at the wild boar, and the wild boar also looked at Yunshu. Hululu hululu, the wild boar rushed over with red eyes after seeing Yunshu. Seeing this, Yunshu quickly released the Lanquan sword in his left hand. A beast of this size is no match for an adult, and Yunshu has to be careful with it. If the car overturns, it will be finished. Wild boars are omnivores and can eat people. End of this chapter. Chapter 6, The Breath of the Sun. But a beast is a beast. No matter how big it is, it cannot avoid the low IQ. Seeing the wild boar, Yunshu charged forward, held the Lanquan sword tightly, and waited quietly for it to charge over before giving it a fatal blow. Hum. At the moment, when the wild boar was about to hit Yunshu, Yunshu jumped up on the spot, held the sword instead, and stabbed fiercely. Point. If this pig was taller, Yunshu could have solved it with a sliding shovel. AWW. AWW. The wild boar howled in pain immediately after being poked in the waist, and it started to twist wildly. Yunshu couldn't get close at all. The injured wild boar became even more vicious, bumping towards Yunshu despite his injuries, as if he wanted to die with Yunshu. Yunshu put away the Lanquan sword, took out the pistol, clenched both hands, and shot twice at the wild boar. Damn it. You can't even hit it. Yunshu stared blankly at the wild boar. that continued to charge towards him. I wanted to pretend to be a force and use a pistol to solve it, but I didn't expect that the first time I used the gun, I didn't have the aim. Ouch. Seeing the wild boar Yunli who was about to hit him, he immediately put away his pistol and hugged the big tree beside him to avoid the collision. Hululu, seeing that the wild boar hadn't hit it, it rushed over again. However, due to the waist injury and excessive bleeding, the speed was not as fast as before. Fortunately, I used to climb trees a lot. Yunshu rubbed against the trunk and slowly climbed onto a thick branch. Hit me, idiot. Yunshu stood on a branch and taunted the wild boar. Bang, bang. Wild boars can't climb trees, so they can only hit the big tree, where the cloud tree is located again and again. I can't let you just hit him to death. Yunshu took out the pistol again, just now because he was too nervous. He didn't aim at all, and subconsciously shot in the direction of the wild boar, so he missed it all. This time Yunshu stood on the branch and watched the wild boar closely, aiming the pistol in his hand at it. Boom. Headshot. Ding. Kill a wild boar and get a low-level lottery ticket. This lottery ticket again. Could it be that Tang San and wild boar are on the same level? Yunshu asked doubtfully. In fact, Yunshu probably guessed what was going on. It was nothing more than the stronger the defeated person, the richer the reward would be. By the way, the system. Will you always get rewards for defeating the same person in a row? The reward for the same goal will only be sent once a year. Well, it's about the same. 1 year is enough for him to improve his strength again. Yunshu thought to himself. Good guy, it's probably enough to eat for a week. Yunshu jumped down from the tree, looked at the wild boar's body, and said in surprise, and then Yunshu dragged the wild boar's body back to the village. Little tree, did you kill this? The people in the village said in shock when they saw the dead pig dragged back by Yunshu. Such a big wild boar would require a lot of people even for adults to deal with it. I happened to meet a wounded wild boar, stabbed it and died, so I brought it back. Yunshu said nonsense solemnly. Although the fatal injury was a bullet hitting the head, the wild boar's head was too large, so the head did not explode, and it looked like a relatively large wound. But if you can see inside, you will see that the wild boar's whole brain is rotten. Hand the wild boar to the butcher in the village, ask him to help clean up the pig, and give him a pig's head at the end. Back home, Yunshu was going to draw another prize to see. After all, the desert eagle is too much of a show. I suddenly pulled out a gun and shot you to death while you were fighting the soul well. This is too weird, no matter how you look at it. System. Use lottery tickets. Ding. Congratulations on obtaining the practice method of the sun's breath. The breath of the sun? Practice method? Yunshu, who had seen the breath of the sun, almost cried out in surprise, but was stunned when he saw the following practice method. If he directly obtained the breathing method, then his strength increase would definitely be leaps and bounds. After all, after learning the breathing method, his physical strength would definitely directly reach the level of the soul master, or even the soul sect. Breathing method is a general term for the technique developed by Jighoan in Demon Slayer, Blade and created to fight ghosts with a human body. The main function is to strengthen the heart and lung function, so that the blood can absorb a large amount of oxygen in a short period of time, which can greatly increase the physical ability in an instant, and then temporarily have the physical ability comparable to that of a ghost. The sun's breath is the most powerful of all breathing methods. The sun's breath can emit the same energy as the sun, and it has great lethality against ghosts. At the same time, energy can also be directly attached to the blade to form a burning crimson blade, Hideo, which will destroy the ghost's internal organs after piercing into the ghost's body, so that the ghost's internal organs will be burned, as if burned by a raging flame. Pain, and the ghost's body gradually collapsed and could not be regenerated. Although there are no ghosts in this world, it is easier to use this kind of swordsmanship to deal with enemies. After all, human beings do not have such a strong recovery ability as ghosts, and they will not die, even if they are cut in half. It's a pity I didn't get the god of fire, Kagura Wu. Yunshu side point. Kagura, the god of fire, is a type of the breath of the sun, which is equivalent to moves. Without these moves, Yunshu can only create his own sword moves, based on the breathing method. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. You are too powerful. Little San, I heard that your father doesn't want you to become a soul master. Yunshu and Tang San lay side by side on the back hill of Holy Soul Village. Well, if my father doesn't want it, then I won't be a soul master. Tang San looked at the sky quietly. Although Tang San was almost 30 years old in his previous life, because he was an orphan in his previous life, and had no parents, Tang San, who had felt the affection of his family in this life, cherished it a little bit. If his father didn't want him to go, then he wouldn't go. Don't worry. Your father will change his mind. Yunshu also looked at the clouds in the sky quietly. Yesterday old man Jack came back angrily, and Yunshu knew that he had a fight with Tang Heo. It's just that, because Yunshu didn't reveal that he was a soul warrior, old Jack still hoped that Tang San would go to Notting College to study this year's work-study student. As for Yunshu, he wanted to go to the Stardao Forest. Because the Spirit Beast forests in the Heaven Dao Empire are generally controlled by the Spirit Hall, without a warrant, they can't enter at all, and as a spirit warrior who is only level 8, it is impossible for him to have a team willing to take him in. So Yunshu could only go to the Stardao Forest to try his luck. Fortunately, the distance between the Holy Soul Village and the Stardao Forest was not too far, because the Holy Soul Village and the Stardao Forest were somewhat similar. The Stardao Great Forest is included by the two empires, and the Holy Soul Village is at the junction of the two empires. So the distance between Holy Soul Village and Stardao Forest is not much different from the distance to Notting City. Exaline Halix Halin Hale Yunshu began to practice the breathing method of the sun. Little tree, are you having trouble breathing? Tang San looked at Yunshu in surprise after seeing Yunshu suddenly start to take a deep breath. My god, it's hard to breathe. Yunshu thought dumbfoundingly. I see that what you practice every day is very powerful, so I also want to try to see if I can create a powerful cultivation method myself. Yunshu said with a smile. Are you going to create your own cultivation method? Tang San said in surprise, but he didn't laugh at Yunshu, because he saw Yunshu's hard work in the past 2 years. Yunshu closed his eyes and began to learn the breathing of the sun according to the breathing practice method rewarded by the system. Xiaoshu, the sword you asked my father to help you build is finished. It has been a week since Yunshu started learning the breath of the sun. The last time when the two returned from the back mountain, Yunshu asked Tang San to let his father help him build a sword, which actually looked like the Langquan sword. Startled. Because the Langquan sword existed as early as the spring and autumn period and the warring states period, it is not known how long earlier than the Northern Song dynasty where Tang San lived. In Tang San's world, this sword was already a legendary weapon. This made Tang San even more suspicious that Yunshu was actually from his world just like him. But after thinking about it, the inheritance of Wuhan comes from his parents. Yunshu's Wangyoucao should also be inherited from his parents. And if he wants to travel, it should be because Yunshu's parents are the same time travelers as him. But Yunshu the tree was brought back by the village chief Jack, so his parents probably passed away. Thinking of this made Tang San dispel these thoughts. Yunshu didn't explain it either. He just said it was a name he came up with casually, and he used it if he thought it sounded good. Creating a physical sword is only for the convenience of learning sun's breath and creating new sword techniques. Just like Tang San working in the blacksmith's shop after studying, this will have a great impact on using his second martial spirit in the future. The benefits are not too unfamiliar. Don't get used to using the second martial soul when the time comes. That would really make people laugh out loud. It's on the back hill again. Little San, I'm about to leave. Yunshu suddenly looked at Tang San. Where are you going? Tang San asked doubtfully. The world is so big, of course it's a casual stroll. Yunshu patted Tang San. He can't tell Tang San that I gave you the work-study student quota, so I have no place to go. Before you leave, do you want to have another fight? Yunshu looked at Tang San with fighting intent in his eyes. He had touched the edge of the breath of the sun, and it should be ready for actual combat. Okay. Tang San happily agreed, just like what Yunshu used to say before. Fighting often is good for your physical and mental health. Let's start. Yunshu nodded to Tang San. The two shot at the same time. Yunshu's son's breath had already achieved a small degree, and he could improve his physical fitness by a small amount in an instant. Yunshu didn't use a long sword. After all, Tang San didn't have a weapon in his hand. That would be too unfair. Yunshu's speed increased instantly, and he came in front of Tang San in an instant, ready to give him a brain break. Ghost Shadowmism. Tang San had no choice. He couldn't dodge this attack without using Ghost Shadowmism. Your speed. Tang San was stunned by this. He was already prepared for Yunshu's previous speed, because last time he was defeated by Yunshu because of his speed. As a result, Yunshu increased his speed again today on the basis of the original, such a speed that even Tang San, who had cultivated the purple demon eye, almost couldn't react. Hey, my cultivation method has been slightly improved. A smile appeared on the corner of Yunshu's mouth. Little tree, you are really amazing. End of this chapter. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8, The Mammoth. Little tree, you're really amazing. Tang San praised without hesitation, but it's a pity he didn't know that Yunshu didn't invent it at all. Tang San didn't want to ask Yunshu how he did it. Everyone has their own secrets, and he didn't want to tell Yunshu about his martial arts. Go on, Yunshu said with a smile. It is good. Neither of the two defeated each other, because neither of them used their whole cards, so the battle should be considered a draw. I'm going to leave tomorrow. I need you to tell me about old Jack. I'm afraid he won't let me leave. Yunshu and Tang San lay side by side somewhere in the back mountain of Holy Soul Village. This is already the secret base of the two of them. After all, children from ordinary families dare not come to the back mountain to play, and adults have no time to come to the back mountain. Okay. Tang San didn't say much. No matter what, nothing can prevent Yunshu from going out to sea alone. No, it is the determination to go out and see the world. The next morning, Yunshu sneaked out before dawn. He had already packed all his things and put them in the storage space yesterday, so he doesn't need anything now, as long as he doesn't disturb old Jack. Leave this home. Little San. After Yunshu came out, he saw Tang San, who was about to go to the mountain to cultivate Ziji demon eyes. Old Jack, I'm counting on you. Yunshu came to Tang San's side, hugged Tang San and said, to be honest, fortunately there was no one around for the operation of two 6-year-old children. Otherwise I really thought I had seen a ghost. Don't worry. Tang San looked at Yunshu and nodded. Okay, then I'm leaving. Yunshu took advantage of this time and left the Holy Soul Village before the people in the village woke up and ran towards the Stardao Forest. In the last battle with Tang San, Yunshu felt that Xiao Cheng's breathing method seemed a little weak and could only perform short bursts, and because he had been practicing the breathing method during this period, the progress of Yunshu's soul power cultivation temporarily stalled. Therefore, Yunshu decided to give up the practice of breathing for the time being, first raise his soul power to level 10, and start practicing the breath of the day again, after obtaining the first soul ring. After all, he was already planning to fight the spirit beast. If he didn't have the 10th level, if he met a spirit beast that suited him, he would have wasted a great opportunity to obtain the spirit ring. A month later, outside the Stardao Great Forest, finally reached level 9. The speed of this soul power improvement is too slow. Yunshu said depressingly. The speed of soul power cultivation is directly proportional to the level of innate soul power. Yunshu's innate soul power is only drawn to the 7th level, so the speed of cultivation is not as fast as Tang San, who made him innately full of soul power. In the past month, Yunshu has encountered hundreds of soul beasts, but unfortunately, it is not because his strength is far superior to his own that he cannot beat them. It's just some low strength ones who don't get any rewards for winning. He had never encountered a normal soul beast that could fight him. Tang San will start school in more than a month, and I must get the first spirit ring before then. Yunshu gnawed the jerky in his hand, took a sip of water, and started the journey of finding a suitable spirit beast again. A bloody smell filled Yunshu's face, and Yunshu frowned. His current position can be said to be the outer periphery. The spirit beasts here are generally more than 10 or 20 years old, and occasionally there will be some 100-year-old spirit beasts, but they are all relatively small spirit beasts. Yunshu has already checked the vicinity here, and there are no powerful soul beasts living here, so this bloody smell should come from far away. Thinking about it this way, the injured soul beast must be huge to bleed out so much warm blood. There won't be ghosts. Yunshu squinted his eyes, looking in the direction of the bloody smell, and thought to himself. Yunshu knew that some 1,000-year-old soul beasts had very high IQs. If they were careless, they might fall into the trap of the soul beasts. Wealth and wealth are in danger. Let's go and have a look. Yunshu took out the Lanquan sword and held it in his hand, tense, and slowly moved towards the direction where the smell of blood came. Clatter, clatter, clatter. The surroundings of Yunshu were relatively quiet at this moment, and the sound of his slight footsteps appeared so clearly in such an environment. After walking like this for about 10 minutes, the smell of blood was no longer as vague as before, and the whole environment was filled with a strong smell. It shouldn't be far away. Yunshu narrowed his eyes. Passing through a bush, Yunshu finally saw the source of this bloody smell. Damn it. Yunshu was so frightened that he almost ran away on the spot when he saw it. If the other party hadn't been bleeding, Yunshu might really have left. A giant mammoth fell to the ground. Its abdomen seemed to have been pierced through by a sharp knife, and both sides were bleeding, and Yunshu saw that the mammoth had less air intake and more air output, so it might not be possible to save it. The wound was dyed with purple light. It was pierced by a snake. No. It should have been pierced by a giant spider. Yunshu squinted at the dying mammoth, and suddenly had a bold idea in his heart. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Yunshu suddenly had a bold idea. He's going to make up for the knife. This huge body alone represents the extraordinary strength of this spirit beast, not to mention that a mammoth that can grow so big should also be a spirit beast that is more than 1,000 years old. If you can kill this soul beast, damn it, give it a try and turn your bicycle into a motorcycle. Yunshu took out the Lanquan sword and carefully observed the surrounding situation. The surroundings were in a mess, which should have been caused by the fighting between them, and the spider as a hunter was gone, probably hunting down the mammoth's skin. Otherwise, the spider couldn't have let go of such a big delicacy. The surrounding spirit beasts should have been scared away by their fighting. After all, this is only the outer edge of the Stardow forest. Seeing that there seemed to be no danger around, Yunshu walked directly onto the mammoth's body and came to his head. With such a big body, I'm afraid that only a hit to the head can kill it directly. How Yunshu directly activated the breathing method that he had been wasting for a month. Using the breathing method could make him temporarily stronger, so that there would be no problem that the Lanquan sword would not be able to pierce halfway through. Brother, don't blame me. I'm also helping you out. Yunshu pretended to say something, then picked up the Lanquan sword and stabbed fiercely. Ding. Kill the 5368-year-old beast, and you will be rewarded with an intermediate lottery ticket. A purple spirit ring emerged from the mammoth's corpse. Alas, what a pity. Yunshu sighed and left this place directly. As for the purple 1,000-year-old soul ring, let alone that he hadn't reached level 10, even if he did, the first soul ring would rashly absorb the 5,000-year-old soul ring. His body might not be able to bear it and explode on the spot. It seems that I have to hurry up and practice. Yunshu returned to his activity area. I don't know if I can raise my soul power to level 10 in a month, but the current task is to open this lottery ticket first. Yunshu thought happily. System. Use lottery tickets. Ding. Congratulations on getting the Wangyoucao Sharingan. Can grow. It is merging. Sharingan? Yunshu was startled that he had acquired this bug level ability. Sharingan is the blood successor Genkai from the Uchiha clan in the Naruto world. It has powerful abilities such as observation, replication, and hypnosis. The holder will have extraordinary insight, can observe the flow of chakra, can apply and see through illusions, copy body and non-blood succession limit ninjutsu. The advanced level of Sharingan is Gaoyu, Gaoyu, and Gaoyu. After that, it will be upgraded to Kaleidoscope Sharingan due to the violent fluctuation of emotions. Sharingan upgraded to Kaleidoscope will open 2 pupil techniques suitable for you according to your own heart, which is the main reason why Sharingan is called the pupil of spiritual portrayal. Moreover, the writing sharing eyes with the kaleidoscope can also release the ultimate power lodged in the eyes, Susanoo. But the kaleidoscope Sharingan also has a fatal flaw. That is, if the pupil power is consumed too much, the eyes will gradually become blind if they are not replenished. If the eyes of relatives can be replaced, it will not only solve the problem of blindness, but also allow Susanoo to open to the maximum stage, which can be as high as hundreds of meters. The last stage of Sharingan is to obtain the power of the two sons of the six paths, which can draw out the power of the six paths and open the eye of reincarnation. It's a pity that Yunshu doesn't talk about reincarnation eyes here. Even opening the eternal kaleidoscope is a problem. There is no eye to change for him at all, let alone the chakra of Indra and Ajura. It's a good thing, and it still consumes soul power. Yunshu thought to himself, after feeling the ability of Sharingan. Soul power is much easier to grow than chakra, especially for a genius soul master like him. Dragon fire swordsmanship. Flame thrust. Yunshu looked at the white striped monkey-like spirit beast in front of him, and the sword in his hand gradually turned red, until it emitted raging flames. Swish! Exclamation mark. In the blink of an eye, Yunshu appeared in front of the white striped monkey, and before it could react, a sword pierced into its body. Ding. Kill the white pattern jumping monkey, and you will be rewarded with a key in training pill. A small jade bottle appeared in Yunshu's hand, and without thinking, Yunshu poured out the pills inside, and stuffed it into his mouth. This is not the first time. In the past month, Yunshu relied on Sharingan to defeat some slightly stronger soul powers, but all the rewards were this pill called in training key pill. Soul power is mainly to absorb the vitality of the heavens and the earth for one's own use, the energy born from the Wuhan as the root, and this kind of key in training pill can speed up the absorption of soul power. This is also the reason why Yunshu was able to reach level 10 so much earlier. As early as half a month ago, Yunshu reached level 10 and began to restart the breathing method. After another half month of hard work, he finally completed the breathing method and developed the breath of the sun, which is the first form of the dragon fire sword method, the flame thrust. The dragon fire sword technique was renamed because Yunshu felt that the breath of the sun was not pleasant. The dragon of the Lanquan sword is the flame produced by the breath of the sun, so it is called the dragon fire sword method, which is simple and easy to understand. As for the first form of flame thrust, in fact, he simply used all his strength to come to the opponent's face and stab at him before the opponent reacted. End of this chapter. Chapter 10 Zio Wu. It's a pity that the sword Tang Heo built has gradually deformed due to being burned by flames too many times. It seems that Yunshu has to choose a better metal to make a new imitation Lanquan sword. At least it has to withstand the calcination of the sun's fire. The sun wheel knife can hold up because it is made of materials that absorb sunlight, Gorilla Crimson Sand Iron and Gorilla Crimson Ore. Yunshu doesn't know if there are such minerals in this world, and even if there is, Yunshu doesn't know what it looks like. It has been a while since Yunshu entered the 10th level. The reason why he didn't hunt the soul beast to get the soul ring is simply because he couldn't find a suitable soul beast. He doesn't even know what kind of property his Forget Sorrow grass is. Looking at the effect of his Forget Sorrow grass, Yunshu can guess that it should be of the auxiliary type. Since it is of the auxiliary type, Yunshu still plans to start with the birds. For no other reason than to envy Oscar's flying mushroom sausage. He also wants to fly. This world does not have such power as Ki, otherwise he would be able to use the sword control technique. Use Ki to control the sword, and use the sword to fly. Flying has always been the eternal dream of human beings. Since flying is allowed in this world, Yunshu will definitely not let go of flying soul skills. Among other things, it must be very convenient to hurry. And in case of a fight, if you can't fight, you can still use it to run away. Birds and soul beasts, it's easy to say, it's not easy. Yunshu raised his head and looked at the sky blankly. Most of the peripheral bird soul beasts are more than 22 years old. Although there are suitable bad soul beasts, the strength of other soul beasts should not be underestimated. There is no one to help protect the law, and it may be absorbing the soul ring. Killed by a passing soul beast on the way, that would be a blood loss. Normally, it takes about a few hours to absorb a spirit ring, and the stronger the spirit beast's spirit ring, the longer it will take. I made a mistake. Why didn't I find someone to accompany me back then? Sigh. Overthinking. Who else in the village can accompany me? Yunshu said with a wry smile. Huh. It can't be such a coincidence. Yunshu was taken aback suddenly, as if he heard the voice of a human being. Are you here to hunt soul beasts? Yunshu followed the direction where the voice came from. Who is it? Yunshu had just arrived, and he didn't expect the other party's perception to be so sensitive. Xiao Wu. Yunshu said inwardly. Unexpectedly, I would meet this 10-year-old rabbit spirit in the Stardow forest. Thinking about it carefully, it's actually not a strange thing. Xiao Wu, like Tang San, will go to Notting low-level Soul Master Academy to study in half a month, and Xiao Wu lives so far away from the center of the Stardow forest, it is normal to go out half a month in advance. However, what should I do if I meet the heroine? Hello. Yunshu could only show up and greet Xiao Wu. Who are you? Xiao Wu stared at Yunshu curiously with her copper bell-sized eyeballs. To be honest, the appearance of this little rabbit when he was a child is really unacceptable. How can you be so beautiful when you grow up? Long crooked. Is it still upright? Question mark. My name is Yunshu, and I'm here to get the soul ring. Yunshu suddenly remembered that Xiao Wu should be very familiar with this place, and if she helps her protect the law, she should be able to absorb the soul ring safely. Hello. My name is Xiao Wu. Dancing dance. Why are you alone in the Stardow forest? Xiao Wu said curiously. Aren't you alone too? Yunshu said speechlessly. I got separated from my family by accident. So, that's why I'm alone. Xiao Wu obviously lied for the first time, and she said a sentence intermittently several times before she finished. Then do you want me to accompany you to find your parents? Yunshu said with a smile. He wanted to see how the little rabbit was going to pick it up. No need. Aren't you planning to get a soul ring? Just let me accompany you. Xiao Wu said with tears in her eyes. She had to pretend she had lied with tears in her eyes. The time was originally calculated, but now it seems that it may be a little later. Just right. I'm worried that no one will protect me. Yunshu said with a smile. The reason why Xiao Wu is relieved is because Yunshu understands that Xiao Wu's nature is very kind, so he will not harm him. Otherwise Yunshu, a random passerby, can't justify not beating him up. What kind of soul beast do you need? Xiao Wu asked after Yunshu blankly. I'm in the auxiliary department, so I want the bird soul ring. Yunshu raised his head and said. Along the way, he was observing whether there were any suitable bad soul beasts. What? You are from the auxiliary department? Xiao Wu said in shock. How dare you from the auxiliary department come to the Stardow forest alone? Because I'm very powerful. Yunshu pointed to the long sword on his back and said. When the sword is not in use, it can also be used as a weight to exercise Yunshu's body. TCH. You know how powerful the soul fighters of the auxiliary system are. Xiao Wu showed a bragging expression. End of this chapter. Chapter 11 target appears. How good is your auxiliary system? Xiao Wu folded her arms and turned her head. Hush. Yunshu suddenly made a silent movement. Xiao Wu quickly covered her mouth when she saw it. Seeing this scene, Yunshu almost laughed out loud. He just told Xiao Wu not to make a sound. Unexpectedly Xiao Wu covered his mouth directly. Yunshu made an upward gesture, signaling Xiao Wu to look up. Xiao Wu looked up and found a cloud-treading eagle silently staring at the two of them above their heads. Xiao Wu looked at Yunshu with puzzled eyes. Yunshu nodded to her, indicating that this was it. Looking at the wings of this cloud-treading eagle, the age is almost 400 years, and it happens to be a flying soul beast. Yunshu thinks it is very suitable. Xiao Wu looked puzzled again. She wanted to ask Yunshu how to solve the problem of the other party being able to fly. Yunshu raised his eyebrows, saying that you just watch my operations. After signaling, Yunshu unleashed his martial spirit, the soul-defeating Wangyoucao. After more than 2 months of research, Yunshu has already mastered the usage of soul snatching. Under the control of Yunshu's soul power, the soul-snatching black aura on the Wangyoucao grass was slowly drifting towards the cloud-stepping eagle squatting on top of the two of them. What a beautiful flower. Xiao Wu stared blankly at the Wangyoucao in Yunshu's hand and said involuntarily, damn it. Seeing Xiao Wu's appearance, Yunshu immediately put away the Wangyoucao in his hand. He forgot to remind Xiao to hold his breath. This breath will affect all creatures within 1 meter around the cloud tree. Cuckoo. What happened just now? After Yunshu put away the Wangyoucao, Xiao Wu woke up and just heard the call of the cloud treading eagle again, so she said in a panic, "Run." Yunshu took Xiao Wu's hand and started running wildly. The wings of the cloud treading eagle are as hard as steel, and when it launches an attack, countless blade-like feathers will be shot out. Hey, what happened just now? Xiao Wu was still in a daze. Why did she run away suddenly? Phew, my Wangyoucao will emit a breath, which will confuse both the enemy and the enemy. You were hit just now. It's my fault that I didn't explain it to you. Yunshu explained while running. Then what should we do now? Xiao Wu said nervously. A nearly 400-year-old mandala snake can force Master and Tang San to run around. Of course, this nearly 400-year-old soul beast can't beat Yunshu and Xiao Wu alone. After all, the opponent's superiority, it's too big, and it's not easy to attack in the air. Run first. If you can run away, think about other things. Yunshu and Xiao Wu shuttled around in the forest, and the cloud treading eagle on the top of their head seemed not to let them go, and kept chasing after them. After half an hour, "Phew, I can't run anymore. Why doesn't this idiot give up?" Xiao Wu said out of breath. Fortunately, this is a forest with many trees, and it is not easy for cloud stepping eagle's attack to hit them. Yunshu's breathing method was still on. He pulled out the long sword behind him, and fixed his eyes on the big eagle in the sky. Rabbits bite people when they are in a hurry. Do they really think they are easy to bully? Seeing that the two were no longer running, Douluo began to hover above their heads. It seems that they want to wait until the two of them are exhausted before coming down to enjoy this delicious meal. Yunshu closed his eyes and began to recall Tang San's hidden weapon method when he fought with him. If Tang San was here, maybe he only needed a few stones to drive away this sand sculpture. The only thing left in his hand is this burnt, crooked, broken sword that can be used as a throwing object, and he only has one chance. Yunshu opened his eyes and then began to write, sharing eyes. Yeah. Vision seems to have become clearer, and dynamic vision has also improved. Could it be that the single Gaoyu Sharingan who was chased just now was upgraded to double Gaoyu? HMPH. A sneer appeared on the corner of Yunshu's mouth. The upgrade of Sharingan made him more confident in dealing with this sand sculpture. Yunshu began to use the dragon fire sword technique, and the worn-out long sword began to turn red until it burst into flames. The big eagle seemed to see that Yunshu was about to make a move, so he landed on a branch and began to flap his wings. One person, one eagle starts to unleash one's full blow. Yunshu clenched the long sword wrapped in raging fire and stared at the sand sculpture above who was flapping its wings. Second form of dragon fire sword art. Star penetration strike. Yunshu threw the fire sword in his hand like a big eagle with all his strength, and the countless feather blades of the big eagle also shot at Yunshu. Ding, 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 ding. The fire sword broke through countless feather blades and flew towards the big eagle, but it was a pity that the fire sword deviated from the direction due to hitting too many feather blades during the flight, and only brushed against the side of the cloud treading eagle. Goo 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 goo, as if mocking, the big eagle started cooing at Yunshu. The first soul skill. Waist bow. A crisp voice sounded behind Douluo. Yunshu smiled when he heard it, and finally let out a sigh of relief. In fact, Yunshu's move was just a cover. After all, he had never practiced his throwing skills, and he didn't know if his aim was good, so how could he risk his life to block this blow? Therefore, when the long sword caught fire, he had already hinted at Xiao Wu behind his back, asking her to find her chance to gank the sand sculpture. End of this chapter. Chapter 12, Attached Soulbone. Bang. Cloud stepping eagle was kicked by Xiao Wu and then fell from the tree. Yunshu galloped to Douluo's side and released his Wuhan Wangyoucao. Go. Cloud stepping eagle, who had inhaled the breath of Wangyoucao, was quickly attracted and fell into it. Your martial spirit is so strange. Is it from the control system? Xiao Wu asked curiously when she came to Yunshu's side when she saw that the cloud treading eagle was being controlled. To be honest, I don't even know whether she is from the control system or the auxiliary system. Yunshu scratched his head. This charm-like skill is only passive. If you want to see what the plot is about, you have to get a soul skill first to know what it is. Is it the same as before? Xiao Wu asked curiously as she looked at the sculpture that was motionless and staring at the Wangyoucao. Well, I don't know the specific situation, but the effective range is too small. It is obviously impossible to use it as a soul skill. Yunshu explained to Xiao Wu. I'm going to absorb its soul ring. Watch it for me. Yunshu directly invaded its body with black breath. Soon, a yellow soul ring emerged from its corpse. Ding. Kill the cloud-treading vulture. Reward an intermediate lottery ticket. Although Xiao Wu is also a soul beast, she will not sympathize with this kind of soul beast that is hostile to her and has chased and killed her for a long time. Yunshu sat down cross-legged, released the soul-seizing Wangyoucao, controlled the spirit ring to put on the Wangyoucao, and then began to meditate. Immediately, Yunshu's right hand seemed to be deep into the magma. A wave of scorching energy crazily poured in, and the intense heat rushed into the body in an instant. And in an instant, the 5 insides were on fire. Yunshu's body couldn't help trembling violently. As expected of a century-old soul ring, Yunshu thought secretly amidst the scalding heat. Suddenly, one of the heat sources suddenly fell into confusion, as if it had encountered a fork in the road. After a short stay, it rushed towards Yunshu's eyes. Ah! A sharp pain struck, and Yunshu could not help but let out a scream. When I opened my eyes, the Sharingan in my eyes turned on automatically and gradually turned from red to golden yellow. Hey, are you alright? Xiao Wu said at a loss when she heard Yunshu scream and came to Yunshu's side, looking at his golden eyes. Nothing. Yunshu said with difficulty, although his eyes were in severe pain at this time. But Yunshu didn't dare to be distracted at this time, and closed his eyes again, after talking to Xiao Wu, and began to bear the spirit ring the impact of that domineering force. I don't know how long it took. Yunshu seemed to hear a clear cracking sound, and then the heat flow crazily spread out, and then merged with the soul power in the body, and the soul ring was obtained. The pain disappeared, and a sense of relief came. All the pores on the top and bottom of the body were opened, greedily breathing the wonderful air, and a strange change gradually occurred in Yunshu's body, and all the attributes of the body were strengthened. Immediately afterwards, another strange wave suddenly entered Yunshu's body, and it kept swimming in the body until it came to Yunshu's back for the second time. There was another pain, but this time the pain was not as severe as before, so Yunshu just groaned and held it back. This force seems to have taken root in Yunshu's back. If Yunshu could see his back, he would find that 2 sarcoid tumors had suddenly grown on his back shoulder blades, and the sarcoid tumors were still agitating non-stop. Something wants to break out. Bang! Exclamation mark. A pair of angel-like wings spread out instantly, and then gradually enveloped Yunshu. External, with soul, bones. Yunshu burst into ecstasy. Yunshu tried his best to fold his wings, then opened his eyes. A gleam of brilliance flashed in his sharp eyes. Turning her head and looking to the side, Xiao Wu was leaning against a tree beside her, sleeping. Yunshu raised his eyebrows. This little girl really has a big heart. Fortunately, this place is still safe. The two of them were not attacked by a spirit beast. Hey. Yunshu came to Xiao Wu's side and flicked the rabbit ears on her head. I'm so sleepy, so don't disturb me. Xiao Wu shook her head and muttered. Hey, little rabbit. It's dawn. Yunshu whispered into Xiao Wu's ear here. What? Xiao Wu suddenly opened her eyes. Let you take care of why you fell asleep? Yunshu pretended to be dissatisfied and said. You succeeded. You still said. You absorbed a soul ring for a whole day. I'm so sleepy now. Xiao Wu said, pointing Yunshu's forehead. What? I absorbed it all day. Yunshu said in shock. In other words, it's already the morning of the next day. What do you think? They kept watch for you all night, and you are still disturbing my sleep now. Xiao Wu said sullenly. I actually absorbed it all day long. Yunshu suddenly fell into deep thought. Tang San's longest absorption of the spirit ring was only one night. What's going on with him? Could it be it's Sharingan? Thinking of this, Yunshu suddenly opened Sharingan. End of this chapter. Chapter 13. So I'm a control department. Name, Yunshu Soul Power, Level 11 Martial Soul, Soul Snatching Grass / 7-star Dragon 1 Ring, Cloud Stepping Fierce Condor, Yellow, Soul Skill, Sleeping Flower Blade, Soul Bone, Angel Wings, External Soul Bone, Effect, Flying, Feather Blade Ziji, Sangao Sharingan, Variation, Effect. Insight, Hypnosis, Duplication, Illusion Items, Intermediate Raffle Ticket, Desert Eagle, 37 rounds, Martial Skills, the first form of the Dragon and Fire Swordsmanship, Flame Thrust, the second form, Star Penetration Strike. Sure enough, it's not an accident, it's really mutated. Yunshu looked at Sharingan on the system, there was a mutation in the brackets behind it, and he even upgraded himself to Sangao for free. This wave is really bloody money. Yunshu thought to himself. Why did your eyes turn golden? Xiaowu saw Yunshu's eyes suddenly glow with golden light, and the sleepy eyes suddenly disappeared, staring at Yunshu's eyes curiously. It's nothing, it's mutated. Yunshu put away Sharingan. Let's go out. The spirit ring has already been obtained, so there is no need for him to be here, and Tang San will return to Notting City in less than half a month, so he can wait for him in Notting City. Okay. Xiaowu followed Yunshu, and began to walk out of the Stardao Great Forest. The first soul skill of Wangyoucao is Sleeping Flower Blade, so my position should be in the same control system as Tang San. Yunshu was walking out with Xiaowu on his back at this time. Because he was dissatisfied with Yunshu for waking her up just now, he had to let Yunshu go out with her on his back. Yunshu was also helpless. After all, he had just helped him guard for a day and a night. This favor must be repaid. So I can only promise her. I thought it would be from the auxiliary department. Yunshu thought to himself. After all, Wangyoucao. Yunshu had already thought about the support ability at the time, to eliminate negative status for teammates. It's a pity that it turned out to be a control system. The flower blade not only hurts, but also has the sleeping effect of the forget worry grass. So it seems that his martial spirit is very similar to Tang San's. Tang San's blue silver grass also had to hit to have damage and control. Could this be the standard configuration for a male protagonist? Yunshu thought to himself. By the way, killing that sand sculpture seems to have rewarded an intermediate lottery ticket. Yunshu suddenly remembered the lottery ticket he got yesterday. System. Use lottery tickets. Ding. Congratulations on getting the Kusanagi sword. A Shemru. A Kusanagi sword in the shape of a sword appeared in Yunshu's hand. A Shemaru's Kusanagi sword. Yunshu frowned. Because Orochimaru's sword is usually hidden in his mouth, Yunshu felt a little disgusted. Could there be Orochimaru's mucus on it? It's time to clean it up. Yunshu thought to himself. With this sword Yunshu's dragon and fire swordsmanship, there is no need to worry, because the characteristic of the grass shaving sword is that it is hard, and this is a sword that cannot be broken even by a diamond stick. Putting away the grass shaving sword, Yunshu started to speed up his journey, trying to leave the Stardao forest before dark. Xiaowu. Yunshu shook his shoulders. They finally walked out of the Stardao Great Forest before dark. What's wrong? Xiaowu said sleepily. We have already come out, there is a hotel in front. Yunshu pointed to the house not far ahead and said, you carry me over there. Xiaowu puffed her lips, and then suddenly said to Yunshu, aren't you already awake? Yunshu said awkwardly, I don't care. I've been guarding you all night. I'm exhausted now. You have to take care of me. Xiaowu said to Yunshu, as if she was acting coquettishly. Okay. Yunshu had nothing to do with her, so he obediently obeyed. He. Xiaowu stuck out her tongue on Yunshu's back. Boss, open 2 rooms. Yunshu walked directly into the hotel with Xiaowu on his back. No. You have to take care of me. Open 1. Xiaowu hurriedly stopped Yunshu, who was about to pay, and said, Sister, don't we come here just to rest? Yunshu said helplessly, stroking his forehead with one hand. Sister? I like this title. From now on, I will be your sister. Xiaowu said with a smile. Boss, open 1. Xiaowu pressed Yunshu's shoulder, jumped down from behind Yunshu, snatched the money bag from Yunshu's hand, and said to the owner of the inn, okay. The boss nodded with a smile. It was the first time he saw a girl so proactive. I'm here to help you save money. In the next few days, you must accompany me to visit Notting City, Xiao Wu said proudly to Yunshu, shaking the purse in her hand. Hey. Yunshu sighed. This frankly is a little devil, although he can't compare with Ning Rangrong, but it's almost the same. After opening the room, Yunshu came to the bathroom with the Kusanagi sword. Yunshu really didn't want to use this sword until he washed it. What are you doing? Xiao Wu suddenly ran behind Yunshu, watching him rinse the long sword in his hand with water. I can't do it unless I wash it, Yunshu said lightly. End of this chapter. Chapter 14 Angel Wings. The next day, Yunshu woke up from the sofa. He didn't sleep with Xiao Wu, a 6-year-old little lolly. Yunshu didn't have any evil thoughts. Is this a side effect of this spirit bone? Or am I not completely fused? Yunshu touched the 2 raised parts on his back. That should be where the angel wings are. No, if this is not solved, it will be uncomfortable to sleep at night. Yunshu made up his mind to restore this place. Yunshu looked at Xiao Wu, who was still sleeping soundly. He had already developed the habit of getting up early after staying in the Stardao Great Forest for more than 2 months, and it was very dangerous to sleep too dead in the forest. Seeing that Xiao Wu showed no signs of waking up, Yunshu spread out his angel wings. Sure enough, it's a bit stiff to control, probably because it's not completely fused. Yunshu closed his eyes and began to try to control the wings to make some difficult movements. This can not only speed up the mastery of the wings, but also allow it to completely integrate with its own body. What Yunshu didn't know was that because he flapped his wings, the wind was too strong, and Xiao Wu had already been woken up. Oh my god. Xiao Wu cried out in surprise, looking at the snow-white wings on Yunshu's back. Yunshu was also awakened by Xiao Wu's surprised voice. You're awake. With a faint sentence, Xiao Wu was pulled back. Why do you grow wings? Is this a spirit bone? No, the torso spirit bone doesn't have wings either, Xiao Wu said doubtfully after being surprised. This is a special type of external spirit bone. Yunshu explained to Xiao Wu. Is that so? Then can you fly? Xiao Wu suddenly looked at Yunshu with eyes full of excitement. No, I haven't fully integrated it yet. Look at my current movements. The movements of Yunshu's wings on both sides are not uniform. How could it be able to fly? You have to keep it secret for me. If the spirit bone is exposed, I will definitely be hunted down, Yunshu said suddenly and seriously. I know. When you know how to fly, you must take me to the sky. Xiao Wu nodded and said excitedly. No problem. Yunshu folded his wings. It's not something that can be done in a short while, and Xiao Wu wants him to accompany her to visit Notting City today, which makes Yunshu feel a little helpless. He still has a lot of things to do. Although the breathing method can be used normally, it has not yet entered the realm of normal practice. There is also his soul skill, which has not been used until now, so I don't know how effective it is. Not to mention that the 2 winged soul bones were not completely fused. Do you have a storage soul tool? Yunshu looked at Xiao Wu curiously. Storage soul tool? Xiao Wu asked suspiciously. It's just a prop that can store a lot of things. Yunshu was tired. This was Xiao Wu's first time stepping into human society. Although her mother told her some knowledge about human beings when she was very young, it was obviously not comprehensive enough, and Xiao Wu didn't know a lot of common sense. No, you can go buy it, Xiao Wu said with a smile. I can't afford a storage soul tool with this little money, Yunshu said helplessly. A soul tool is worth tens of thousands or even more gold soul coins, and his entire net worth is not much more than that. It was only a dozen or so gold soul coins, and he had accumulated them over the years. That's okay, don't you have it? You can put it in your place, Xiao Wu said indifferently. But, okay, alright. Yunshu nodded. He thought in his heart that he would leave after sending Xiao Wu to Notting College anyway, so that he would give her all the things he bought at that time. After all, he used the space provided by the system to store things, so he couldn't give it to Xiao Wu, even if he wanted to. Let me think about what I need. Xiao Wu suddenly stopped and thought while pointing her finger at her lips. In the original book, Xiao Wu went to school directly because she didn't get any money. This time she had money, but she didn't know how to spend it. Hey, buy the things you need. Yunshu sighed. It is really tiring to go shopping with a woman, even if this woman is only 6 years old. I need to use it, but I don't know what the academy will prepare for me. Xiao Wu pouted and said. The academy won't prepare anything for you, just a bed. Yunshu said lightly. Which school is not like this? He also needed to bring his own quilt and blanket when he went to school when he was a child. Of course, this is also for my own good. If I really prepare, who knows if there is anything wrong with the last person who slept in this quilt. Then I have a lot to buy. Xiao Wu hurriedly started looking for a shop selling bedding. Soon, Xiao Wu bought all the items needed for sleeping. Fortunately, none of these things were expensive, otherwise Yunshu's money would really not be able to support it. There's a grocery store here, let's go and have a look. Xiao Wu took Yunshu's arm and walked into a grocery store on the street. Boss, do you have a storage soul guide here? Xiao Wu's first words almost choked Yunshu to death when he was drinking. End of this chapter. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15. I want to be the big sister. Boss, do you have a storage soul tool here? Xiao Wu's first words. Puff! Exclamation mark. The drink in Yunshu's mouth spurted out instantly. This sister doesn't know how much money she still has. She dares to inquire about the soul guide. Storage soul guide? The boss glanced at the two of them in surprise. Do you have enough money to buy a soul guide at such a young age? Yes, but, needless to say, Yunshu could guess the boss' next words. Do you have money to buy it? Here, these are all. The boss led the two of them to a counter where there were some soul guides for storage. The price ranges from to. They should be some ordinary soul guides, and the built-in space should be within 10 cubic meters. Xiao Wu nodded after watching the soul tool, then took Yunshu's hand and walked out. Let's go. Xiaoshu, the owner of the grocery store with a confused face, was left behind. You came here just to see the price and then give up? Yunshu said in surprise. No. I've decided. After entering the academy, I will be the eldest sister of the students. Then I will collect protection fees, and I will buy them after I save enough money. Xiao Wu said encouragingly. Yunshu, that's right. This is for your self-defense. Yunshu took out the Desert Eagle from the storage space and handed it to Xiao Wu together with the bullets. What is this? Xiao Wu picked up the pistol and looked at it and finally aimed the gun at herself, wanting to see what was in the barrel. Be careful. Yunshu hurriedly grabbed the pistol. This thing is very powerful. I'll show you how to use it. Yunshu picked up the gun and pointed it at a tree not far away. Boom. A bullet pierced through the tree in an instant and then hit the wall behind the tree. It's amazing. Xiao Wu looked at the power of the pistol in surprise and exclaimed. In fact, the pistol is useless to Yunshu because his speed can already allow him to easily dodge bullets, but it will still be dangerous if he is hit by a bullet. This is for your self-defense. Don't use it on people unless it is absolutely necessary. Yunshu told Xiao Wu the operation and then emphasized again. This thing is more powerful than Tang San's godly's huge crossbow. Hitting a person will directly take away a large piece of flesh. If it's the head, it's so steady that it explodes, and the brains splatter all over the place. It can be said that, if the Sand Eagle is used for a sneak attack, unsuspecting people can hardly defend against the power of bullets. But it's hard to say if there are precautions. Just like Yunshu, not only can you dodge, but you can also use the Kusanagi sword to block, cut and so on. I got it. Xiao Wu opened the insurance and put it in the rabbit satchel on her waist. Yunshu could already imagine that kind of situation. A cute girl suddenly took out a Desert Eagle from her cute satchel, a weapon that only a strong man could control. Hey. Xiao Wu returned Yunshu's purse to Yunshu. Don't you need it? Yunshu looked at Xiao Wu. Enough. Xiao Wu clapped her hands. Then let's play a game. Yunshu suddenly made an unexpected request. It's just that, just right. Xiao Wu belongs to this type of girl. Fighting is her favorite thing. Okay. Yunshu brought Xiaowu to a place where no one was around. Martial Soul Soft Bone Rabbit, 12th level first ring combat soul master. Xiaowu released her martial soul and said while looking at Yunshu, teach you the first lesson first. Don't reveal your true strength to an enemy who doesn't know the details. Yunshu looked at Xiaowu with the corners of his mouth slightly raised. Before Xiaowu could react, Yunshu released Wangyoucao to activate his first soul skill. Sleeping Flower Blade. Yunshu shouted. Several petals shot at Xiaowu like flying knives. You. Sneak attack. Xiaowu looked at Yunshu, who didn't talk about martial arts, and hurriedly avoided Yunshu's Wangyoucao grass flower blade. Of course, Yunshu didn't aim at Xiaowu's body in the first place. It was a throwing knife anyway, and it would definitely hurt if it hit someone. The next lesson is the second lesson. Don't talk too much nonsense when fighting. Yunshu started his breathing method and instantly came behind Xiaowu. Waist bow. Yunshu said behind Xiaowu. What? How is it possible? Xiaowu turned around in shock after hearing this. Yunshu's movements were exactly the same as when he used the first soul skill. This is the soft skill that Yunshu copied when he saw Xiaowu use the first soul skill for the first time by directly turning on Sharingan. Because the soft skill is also a type of physical skill, it is not a problem to copy it. It seems that soft skills are somewhat limited. After carrying Xiaowu into the air, Yunshu realized that his waist couldn't make Xiaowu's appearance at all. It seems that soft skills still require a lot on the body, and this skill can be regarded as copying for nothing. Frightened me. Seeing that Yunshu just threw her into the air and didn't make any further moves, Xiaowu knew that Yunshu was just fooling her. Then you can't do anything about me. Yunshu smiled slightly, releasing his martial spirit. Wangyoucao. Ding. Defeat Xiaowu. Get a low-level lottery ticket. You. Xiaowu was taken aback when she saw Wangyoucao and then realized that she had already lost. After being approached by Yunshu, if he has no ability to prevent the effect of Wangyoucao, he will only fall into a state of obsession and cannot extricate himself. Humph. End of this chapter. Chapter 16. What should come will always come. There is one day left until the countdown to registration at Notting College. Enough playing, the college is about to start. When do you plan to go there? Since Xiaowu was defeated by him last time, she has been unconvinced and has to compete with Yunshu every day. As a result, Yunshu didn't even have a chance to practice quietly, but now it's better, and tomorrow is the day to sign up, and Yunshu can finally start to practice properly. You don't want to stay with me that much, Xiaowu said angrily after hearing Yunshu's words. My little aunt, we have been together for almost half a month. Has your soul power improved? Yunshu said helplessly. This. Xiaowu nodded awkwardly. Yunshu's soul power has reached the 11th level since absorbing the first soul ring, but it is still at the 11th level and has not improved at all. Okay, it's not like you won't be on vacation. I will come to the academy to see you once in a while. Yunshu patted Xiaowu's head and said. It's more or less the same. Xiaowu said arrogantly with her arms folded. That's right. I forgot about this. Yunshu took out a ring and put it on Xiaowu. This. What is this? Xiaowu said in panic after seeing Yunshu put a ring on her. When she was a child, she heard her mother say that when a boy wears a ring to a girl, it means. This is a storage ring soul guide. I picked it up when I went out last time. It contains about 3 or 4 cubic meters. I put all your things in it for you. There are some gold coins in it. Yunshu wiped the ring and said. In fact, this is a ring from the lottery ticket obtained after defeating Xiaowu last time. It is an anti-inflammatory ring from the battle next door, and it is a second-hand product. But because it was second-hand, there were still some clothes and gold coins that Xiaowen put in. The clothes were thrown away by Yunshu, and the remaining 50 gold coins were left untouched by Yunshu, and he planned to leave them for Xiaowu to spend. You also need to spend your own money for meals in the academy. What do you mean? Aren't you going to accompany me in? Xiaowu pointed at Yunshu angrily after hearing Yunshu say that all the quilts had been put in. Don't worry, I will accompany you in. I have a friend who happens to be the same age as you, and he will also come here to learn the cultivation of a soul master. I have already made an appointment with him. Yunshu touched Xiao Wu's head said. What do you mean, being the same age as me? You are obviously only a few months older than me. Xiao Wu said angrily. Yunshu was speechless. You, a rabbit spirit over years old, said that I'm older than you. Okay. Take a good rest and prepare to sign up tomorrow. Yunshu lightly patted Xiao Wu's rabbit ears. The next day, after Yunshu and Xiao Wu packed up everything, they headed to Notting College. Xiao, why don't you go to Notting College to study? Xiao Wu looked at Yunshu curiously. Obviously there is a better cultivation environment in the academy. Why Yunshu didn't choose to stay in the academy? Our village only has one place for work-study students. I didn't accept it, so I gave it to my friend. Yunshu said with a smile. My friend, like you, is born full of soul power. If you can receive a good education, your future achievements. Yunshu couldn't make it up as he spoke. Even if Tang San doesn't go to school, Tang Heo can still train him to become a talent. It's just a matter of time. In fact, Yunshu just doesn't like the environment in the school. There are too many rules, and Yunshu doesn't like being controlled and restricted. Except for the unique Shrek Academy, all the academies on the mainland are almost the same. So what if you are full of innate soul power? Xiao, although your innate soul power is only at level 7, even me, who is full of innate soul power, and whose soul power is still one level higher than yours, can't beat you. You are the one who should enjoy that. Work-study students. Xiao Wu said angrily, as if she was blaming Tang San for taking away her chance to study with Yunshu. It's okay. Yunshu rubbed the little rabbit's head. Since the little rabbit learned that she could study with Yunshu, but now there is no other way, she has shown a sullen look. Huh. The little rabbit was upset. Damn it. As he walked, Yunshu suddenly saw a familiar figure not far ahead, and then immediately remembered, isn't this near Tang San and old Jack? Yunshu exclaimed, and hurriedly slowed down his pace, intending to walk more slowly, and then go in with Xiao Wu after old man Jack sent Tang San in and left. If you worry about something happening, it's more likely to happen. Perhaps because of Murphy's Law, Yunshu saw the two people in front of him stop suddenly, and then walk to the side of the stall, as if they were asking about something. And little Tang San actually looked to the right at this time. Little tree. An exclamation made old Jack look towards Yunshu. Yunshu helplessly covered his eyes. What should come, will always come. End of this chapter. Chapter 17 Hypnosis. Yunshu didn't expect Tang San's sudden look back. No matter what old man Jack has raised him for 6 years, the parents won't be in a hurry if their child disappears for 3 months. Yunshu could already imagine how old Jack would educate him later. Xiao, you child. Sure enough, Jack brought Tang San to Yunshu anxiously. Ahaha. Grandpa Jack, you are here too. Yunshu said with a haha, scratching his head and laughing. You child left without making a sound. Do you know how worried I'm about you? Jack said to Yunshu in a reprimanding tone. I'm fine. Yunshu said with a smile. And I'm a soul master now. Yunshu said to Jack. Soul master? Really? Old Jack said in surprise. Okay. Well, it's fine. It's fine. Hearing that Yunshu had become a soul master, old man Jack stopped being angry and said with relief. By the way, Xiao, who is this? Jack and Tang San both looked at Xiao Wu beside Yunshu. Oh, this is my friend. Xiao Wu, this is my grandfather, and this is the friend Tang San I told you about. Yunshu introduced to both sides. Hello. Xiao Wu greeted the two of them. I'm also here to send Xiao Wu to Notting College. Let's go together. Yunshu hurriedly beckoned the two of them to continue walking. Little tree, are you already a soul master? How did you get the soul ring? Along the way, Tang San asked Yunshu about the soul ring. Because he has not yet worshipped the master as a teacher, so he does not know some common sense about Wuhan. Someone will teach you this when you get to the academy, and they must know more comprehensively than me. Yunshu didn't explain to Tang San. Anyway, going to the School of Soul Masters is to learn these knowledge. It doesn't matter if you know it in advance or later. So what if you don't? You still have to wait for the teacher to take you to acquire it. Xiaoshu, is this Tang San really as powerful as you say? Xiao Wu secretly pulled Yunshu aside. What Yunshu told him was that he was always unable to beat Tang San when he was a child, and it was only recently that he could barely draw with him. But from Xiao Wu's point of view, this Tang San seems to be a fool who doesn't understand anything. Can such a person defeat Yunshu? The martial soul is not the only thing in the junior Sanhu. Yunshu didn't say much, it was his privacy, and he was not the kind of talkative person. HMPH. Playing tricks. Xiao Wu said dissatisfied. Yunshu felt as if he didn't know when he accidentally discredited Tang San's image in Xiao Wu's eyes. As a result, Xiao Wu felt uncomfortable seeing Tang San in various ways. Notting College was already in Notting City, so they arrived at the gate of Notting College within half an hour after walking. Not surprisingly, because Tang San was born full of soul power and the watchdog was a bitch. This time even Xiao Wu was affected. The dog watching the door didn't intend to let them in. Little San. Yunshu looked at Tang San and shook his head. It is very unwise to kill people here. What happened? A hoarse voice sounded behind several people. Yunshu looked back and saw that it was the Master Yuziao gang. Old man Jack told what happened just now, and the master looked at the porter and frowned. Old sir, can you show me the certificate of Wuhandian? The master also stretched out his hand like Yunshu, motioning the two of them to show him the certificate as well. Seeing this, Xiao Wu took out the certificate from the ring and handed it to the master together with the one in Jack's hand. The master first looked at Xiao Wu's certificate. After confirming that there was nothing wrong with it, he then looked at Tang San's. This was unbearable. The master seemed to have thought of something. His eyes shifted to Tang San and sized him up a few times, which made Tang San feel as though he was being looked at. It is indeed the proof of Wuhandian, old man. I apologize to you on behalf of the academy. Leave these children to me. No need to apologize. No need to apologize. We are not good either. Then Xiaozhen, you just go in with this master. Master, these children will trouble you. Old man Jack bowed and said, okay, little tree, let's go back. Jack came to Yunshu's side and wanted to take him back. Grandpa Jack, you go back first. I'll send Xiao Wu in. Yunshu said to old Jack. Irrelevant personnel are not allowed to enter the academy. At this moment, the dirt dog jumped out again. He just saw that Yunshu didn't show proof that this kid wasn't even qualified to enter the Soul Master Academy, so he immediately regained his confidence. A person who can't even afford to go to the Soul Master Academy is willing to bully him. Yunshu frowned when he heard this and opened his Sharingan to look at the dirt dog at the door. Standing in front of Yunshu, Tang San happened to see Yunshu's golden three-gauge writing sharing eyes. Tang San just wanted to ask what was going on when he saw this incredible scene in front of him. Snapped! Exclamation mark. The concierge suddenly gave himself a big slap in the face and then came to Yunshu with a flattering face. Please. End of this chapter. Chapter 18, leave. The concierge's move stunned everyone. Only the master looked at Yunshu's back and frowned because he found that Yunshu just turned his head and glanced at the porter and then suddenly made such a jaw-dropping move. Okay, let's go in. The master didn't care about the concierge, and Yunshu was not a student of their academy. It was just for sending someone off. And what he wants to know the most now is about Tang San. From that certificate, he can see Tang San's twin martial souls. With such a genius, he really wants to accept him as his disciple. I went in with Xiao Wu first. Yunshu patted Tang San's shoulder. Yunshu didn't want to get involved in his affairs. After Xiao Wu finished registering, Yunshu and Xiao Wu came to the 7th dormitory, where the work-study students were. The moment the door was opened, a foot appeared in front of Yunshu. Yunshu didn't panic at all, or he had anticipated it, and then he used his breathing method, and instantly came to the back of the person who raised the kick, and then grabbed his collar by the back of his neck, and flung it to the nearest bed. The other party seemed unconvinced, jumped off the bed, and wanted to continue the competition with Yunshu. Stop. Yunshu stretched out his hand to stop him. I'm not a student. I'm just sending someone over here. Yunshu stepped aside, and Xiao Wu walked in behind him. Hey, brat. You are too powerful. Wang Sheng was amazed when he recalled Yunshu's operation just now. As soon as he kicked his foot, the opponent reacted and came behind him in an instant and threw him out. If this was in actual combat, he would have already lost before the fight. Little ghost. Yunshu looked at Wang Sheng in surprise. This was the first time he was called a little ghost when he grew up. Although Wang Sheng is already 12 years old, this is not the reason why he can call himself. That point can't beat it and still be so crazy. Writing round eyes. Yunshu opened Sharingan and looked at Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng's eyes froze immediately after touching Sharingan, as if seeing some horrible picture. Ah. Don't come here. Don't come here. Everyone looked at Wang Sheng's honey juice operation and was a little confused. There was nothing here. What did Wang Sheng see? This is the hypnotic ability of Sharingan, which is equivalent to the magic technique of Narukumi, which allows people to see the most feared images in their hearts and carry out spiritual blows. Looking at Wang Sheng like this, he must have seen what he was most afraid of. Xiaoshu, what's wrong with him? Xiao Wu didn't know Yunshu's ability to write sharing eyes. He really thought that the eyes that Yunshu told him had mutated. I don't know, I must have seen a ghost. Yunshu smiled, but didn't tell her the truth. Okay, I'll send you here. After helping Xiao Wu lay out all the things, Yunshu saw that there was nothing to do and then prepared to leave. Then, you must come to see me often, Xiao Wu said, looking at Yunshu reluctantly. Well, don't worry, I'll be back as soon as I'm free, Yunshu said with a smile. Ah, I'm finally free. Yunshu came to the previous hotel. He is going to take a good rest today and resume training tomorrow. During the time he was with Xiao Wu, he didn't cultivate seriously. Sometimes when he wanted to practice, he would be dragged out by Xiao Wu to play. Yunshu felt that he was almost useless. Few now start to practice all concentrated breathing, regular practice. Yunshu lay on the bed. Anyway, he didn't want to do anything today, so in order to prevent boredom, it's better to practice this kind of ability that doesn't require hands-on. Breathing method can not only enhance strength, but also speed up the healing of injuries. After being stabbed in the abdomen, Tao Tanzi used breathing method to temporarily heal the wound in less than 5 minutes. This kind of ability is almost comparable to some rubbish auxiliary soul masters, and this can be done only by controlling breathing, without consuming soul power at all, as convenient as it is. No, no, no. Without anyone looking at me, it's easy to lose my breath, because of thinking about other things. Yunshu frowned. He is now the same as when Tanzi was in Butterfly House. Someone must watch by and remind him from time to time, otherwise he will easily forget to breathe. It seems that the cultivation of breathing method is not easy. Yunshu put his head in his hands, lying on the bed, recalling the content of Zhu Me. There is no one in this world who knows how to breathe. Even if he finds someone who can squat beside him, that person will not be able to tell whether he is breathing with breath. This is a bit difficult, Yunshu murmured. The protagonist and the other two idiots could learn Shangshang in such a short period of time. Yunshu felt that there was no reason why he couldn't learn it. Forget it. Don't think about it. If you can't learn it today, then learn it later, and you will learn it one day. Yunshu cheered himself up, and then fell into a deep sleep. This can be regarded as a little trick he discovered Wangyoucao under the active situation. Perhaps because of Yunshu's inner expectation, Yunshu's first soul skill will also have an effect on him. That is to say, just now Yunshu using the first soul skill to poke myself out. End of this chapter. Chapter 19. How Yunshu stared at the giant snake in front of him and let out a breath slowly. Hiss. A gigantic snake with a body length of almost 10 meters was coiling around an uncle in front of Yunshu. The ice-cold snake pupils were staring at Yunshu, and the letter in his mouth hissed. This is a mandala snake that is about to reach the millennium. Because Yunshu accidentally broke into its territory, it is now eyeing Yunshu. After all, a free crispy bone sausage was delivered to his mouth, and Yunshu would not let it go. Who unknowingly, Yunshu's breathing method has begun to breathe automatically without actively controlling it, which shows that his breathing method has entered the realm of Shangshang. It's not in vain for his experience in the Stardao forest for half a month. Since Yunshu couldn't enter the hunting soul forest, he came to the Stardao forest again. Anyway, the road is familiar, and it is more convenient to come and go. Ding. The breath of the sun has reached the end, and the world of Demon Slayer Blade is now open. What? Not good. Yunshu was stunned suddenly after seeing the prompt given by the system. The mandala snake seemed to have seen Yunshu's stupefaction at this moment and slammed towards Yunshu. Clang. Yunshu's Q-Sanergy sword was placed in front of him, blocking the teeth of the mandala snake. Your uncle, you want to eat me? Shit, you. Yunshu spread out his angel wings and aimed at the mouth of the mandala snake. Ding, 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 ding. Many feather blades made ding ding sounds as they hit the scales of the Dachira snake. Hiss hiss. Although this blow did not cause any damage, it angered the mandala snake and became even crazier. It seems that the soul beast that is close to 1000 years old is not something I can deal with now. Yunshu let go of the sword in his hand and jumped back to avoid the attack of the mandala snake. Forget it. After all, my soul power is only level 12. Yunshu looked helplessly at the giant snake in front of him, then flapped his wings and flew into the sky. He is now going to study the prompt sent by the system just now, otherwise he will leave a scar on this long worm. With wings, traveling is much easier, because the wings don't need to consume soul power, they only consume a little physical strength. Unless you release the feather blade attack just now, you need to consume soul power to turn part of the feathers into steel. Yunshu directly flew out of the Stardao Great Forest and came to the hotel where Xiao Wu stayed together before. The breath of the sun has reached the end? What do you mean? Yunshu asked the system with some doubts. Focus on breathing, and there is no way to enter after the regular attack. That is to say, after an ability obtained from another world reaches the point where there is no way to advance, will the door to that world be opened? Yunshu thought to himself when the Demon Slayer Blade world opened before the Union. Correct. That is to say, I can go to the world of Zhumi now? Yunshu suddenly became interested. Time travel! Exclamation mark. Correct. Then can I come back? Yunshu suddenly thought that he had promised Xiao Wu to visit him often, so what if he couldn't come back after going to Zhumi world? Anytime. Crack. Then I have to ask. Yunshu snapped his fingers. It's only been half a month since he left. He plans to go to Zhumi world to play first, and then come back to see Xiao Wu. Bonus status Yan Zhu's stepson. Yan Zhu's stepson. Is that the big brother Yan Zhu who never blinks? Yunshu thought silently in his heart. To be honest, while watching the Infinity Train chapter, he was also saddened by Yan Zhu's death point, but now it seems that Yanzu doesn't have to die, because with him, as long as Boss Wumi doesn't make a direct move, he won't be afraid of anything. But of course it's not the crushing of strength, but the crushing of ability. After all, the ghosts in Ghost Slayer world are just a mutated person, not caused by magic, witchcraft or sorcery, but just mutated, because Boss Scrap was given some drugs. His soul skill Sleeping Flower Blade can have a great impact on the living body, and the breath of the sun can kill ghosts directly without using the sun wheel knife. These two abilities are also the reasons why Yunshu has no fear. System, where is this? But for now, let's find out where he is. Yunshu seemed to be teleported to a forest by the system. Vine raids down the mountain. Vine attack mountain? Is that the mountain used for the trial of the Ghost Slayer team? Yunshu was surprised. He didn't expect to be sent here. My status as Yan Zhu's stepson is not to participate in this selection. Yunshu thought to himself. It's a weird feeling. Yunshu looked at the purple light all over the sky and said likely points due to the wisteria flowers growing on both sides. The red sunset was dyed purple by these flowers. It can't be such a coincidence. Coming to the meeting point halfway up the mountain, Yunshu saw the familiar figure at first sight. Tanjiro? Yunshu murmured. It was this low voice, as if the red-haired boy heard it. He turned his head and looked at Yunshu. Hey. Such a young child is also participating in the selection. Tanjiro exclaimed when he saw Yunshu. End of this chapter. Chapter 20 Final Selection. Yunshu was very speechless. It seemed that it was a particularly strange situation for him to appear anywhere at his age point, because he is only 6 years old now. Although his body looks the same as a normal 7 or 8-year-old child due to his soul power, Yunshu is still slightly insufficient compared to Tanjiro, who is 15 years old. Thank you for coming to tonight's final selection for the ghost killing team. The Oni who was captured alive by the swordsman of the Demon Slayer team is imprisoned in this Rattan mountain. The Oni cannot leave here because the wisteria flowers that the Oni hate are blooming all year round from the foot of the mountain to the middle of the mountain. However, there will be no wisteria flowers from here up, and there will be ghosts haunting. Survival in this mountain for 7 days is a qualification for the final selection. Then, good luck to all of you. The two children who were about the same size as Yunshu left after the introduction, leaving a group of teenagers rushing to the top of the mountain. Hey, can I go with you? Yunshu was just about to climb the mountain when Tanzi came to Yunshu and said to him, "Why?" Yunshu asked in surprise, but he could also guess that with Tanjiro's gentle personality, he must not want to see Yunshu die here, so he wanted to be with Yunshu to protect Yunshu. "Look, you don't have any weapons. If you meet a ghost, you will definitely be unable to fight," Tanzi said in a big brother's tone. Okay. Yunshu didn't refuse either. Of course he didn't have weapons, but if he refused Tanjiro's kindness, he would definitely worry about his comfort in the subsequent battles. The hand ghost ate the cloud tree and lost blood. Ever since he came to this world, Yunshu has been thinking about why the system should open the world after the completion of Breath of the Sun, but after thinking about it, he finally only thought of one thing, the stripes and the transparent world. Yunshu is not from this world, so he cannot activate the markings on his own initiative, so he can only use the influence of the protagonist to open them. This should be the reason why the system opened up this world. So if the main character dies, it's meaningless for him to come to this world, and he still has to rely on Tanjiro to open the stripes. Even though Tang San can't live until the age of 25, after turning on the stripes, Yunshu is confident that he can reach the god level before Tang San, so there is no side effect of stripes for Yunshu significance point. Moreover, maybe eating a fairy grass by myself can offset it. Although it doesn't look big, you have a reassuring smell. Yunshu was not used to Tanjiro's gentle tone. This idiot protagonist is almost the same as Ken Kaneki, even his personality is exactly the same, and coincidentally, both of them are voiced by Hana Natsuki. The same incomprehensible character. Rather than hurting others, it is better to be hurt by others. As long as gentle people do this, they will be very happy. Really? I farted just now. Yunshu disgusted Tanzi. Tanjiro. Hahaha. What luck. I ran into two prey at once. A ghost jumped out from the darkness. Perhaps because Yunshu was disgusted, Tanzi only held his breath for a while, so he didn't smell the ghost in time. Ogre. Tanjiro stood in front of Yunshu the moment he saw the ogre, and pulled out his Japanese sword. This is the first time I've encountered a ghost in 2 years. Tanjiro thought to himself as he looked at the ghost in front of him. He has studied in Soho Mountain for 2 full years, and has never seen any other ghosts except his sister. Apart from being hanged and beaten by Rinaki Zeduo recently, he naturally has no way of knowing his true strength point, and now, it's finally time to test the results of his hard work in the past 2 years. Calm down. I want to protect this child. Remember it quickly. Breathing of water. First. Boom. Exclamation mark. Before Tanjiro could shout out his move, the Oni on the opposite side was beheaded by a flame flying from behind him. Looking at the body of Oni dissipating in front of him, and looking back at Yunshu who was holding his sword expressionlessly, Tanjiro suddenly fell into deep thought. Let's go, Yunshu said quietly as he walked past Tanjiro. Good. Tanjiro also followed behind Yunshu blankly. You, who the hell are you? Tanjiro asked after being shocked, and finally came to his senses, and followed Yunshu's footsteps. Like you. Come to participate in the final trial of the ghost killing squad. Yunshu said lightly. Your strength is so powerful. Tanzi said excitedly. The sun's breath is the initial breath, and all the breathing styles are adapted from the sun's breath, because they can't learn it at all, and they can't bear the powerful solar energy brought by the sun's breath. So Jigoi and the breath of the sun will be modified, and then taught to those families who inherit the breath. Therefore, even if Yunshu's son's breath has just learned Changzang, his strength is comparable to or even surpassed by some low strength pillars. End of this chapter. Chapter 21 Storytelling. In fact, you can also Yunshu didn't plan to hide it from Tanjiro either. After all, he also wanted to learn the 13 types of Hino breath from Tanjiro. The form and breathing style are equivalent to the martial arts and inner skills in the world of martial arts. Of course, the two can also cooperate with each other. What? You think I can do this too? Tanjiro said in surprise. Of course. The fire god Kagura dance passed down from your family is a type of the sun's breath. How do you know Kagura, the god of fire? Tanjiro said in shock. Forget it, let me tell you a story. Yunshu thought to himself that the more he explained, the more confused he would become, so he might as well tell Tansy everything, which would also save some ZHU from tragic death. A long time ago, a man named Onomate Sujimumi was born in the distant past of the Heian era. Before he was born, Wumi was tightly haunted by the shadow of death. In his mother's womb, his heart stopped beating due to weakness, and he was even born as a dead baby. Although Wumi desperately climbed back from the gate of hell with his obsession with survival, he was still diagnosed with a terminal illness, and was declared not to live past the age of 20, and he was always bedridden. A kind doctor developed a drug for him to prolong his life, but the side effects of the drug made Wumi think that his condition had worsened, so he angrily killed the doctor. It was not until the doctor died that Wumi found out. I found that not only my body recovered, but I also got a stronger and immortal body, but I also began to desire to eat human flesh and blood. Although this is not a problem for Wumi, who has gained great strength, but as long as he is exposed to the sun, he will die, which has become Wumi's most fatal weakness. Being unable to walk in the sun for a lifetime makes Wumi feel extremely humiliated and angry. This person named Onomate Sujimuayao is the ancestor of ghosts? Tanjiro said in shock. He didn't expect that Muayao, who is the king of ghosts, turned out to be a human being. That is to say, my sister has the hope of becoming a human. Tansy said excitedly, grabbing Yunshu's shoulder. Don't worry, keep listening to me. The next thing has to do with your god of fire, Kagura. Yunshu slapped Tansy's hands away. The samurai family in the Warring States period, the Jigo family, gave birth to a second son named Jigo Yuanai. At the age of 7, Yuanyi, who swung a sword for the first time, defeated a powerful adult warrior with only 4 strokes. When Jigoyan grew up, he created the initial breath, the breath of the sun, by relying on the principle of breathing that he had mastered naturally, and shared it with other members of the ghost killing team, but the members of the ghost killing team were unable to master the breath of the sun. Therefore, Yuanai guided them to develop the 5 basic schools of fire, water, thunder, rock, and wind suitable for them according to the principle of the breath of the sun, which greatly enhanced the combat skills of the swordsmen of the ghost killing team force. The water breathing you use is one of the schools that has been passed down. There are also some breathing schools derived from the breathing methods of the 5 major schools, such as yin, za, lion, hua, bug, and snake. Why is there no fire god? Could it be? The smart Tanjiro seemed to have thought of it. One day, your ancestors Tanji and his wife happened to encounter a ghost. Yuanai rescued your ancestors Tanji and his wife from the ghost, and became close friends with them. For Tanji and his wife, Yuanai demonstrated all the first to 12 forms of the sun's breath on the spot. Tanji watched with all his attention. The movements were printed in those pupils without omission. The sun's breath, the figure was so beautiful that Tankichi was fascinated. Finally, before saying goodbye to Tankichi and his wife, Enichi gave Tankichi his sunring flower paper earrings as a gift. Tanji swears that he will pass on the sun disk flower paper earrings and the fire god Kagura dance, that is, the form of the sun's breath, to future generations. So that's how it is. Tanjiro was still digesting. In fact, Yunshu has omitted a lot of things in between, such as the fact that Jigoyan wins and becomes Heisamao, and Jigoyan beats ghost danced Sujiwumi, and he cuts knives in 1 second. Talking about this kind of thing is too shocking. Now that Tanjiro can swing 5 knives in 1 second, it is considered remarkable. Then, Tansy wanted to say something else. Hush. Yunshu signaled Tansy to shut up. He couldn't even smell that he was surrounded by ghosts when he was so excited. Wash the motor, Tansy exclaimed. He had listened too seriously just now, but now he realized that at least 6 ghosts had appeared nearby. Okay, use your Vulcan dance to solve them, and I will help you solve it if there is an accident, Yunshu said to Tanzi, and he was going to use Sharingan to complete 10 days of the breath of the sun at this time. The second type is all copied. As for the last number 13 type, which is also the complete type of sun's breath, Yunshu knows it. In fact, there is only one type of sun breath, that is, all 12 types are repeated to form a circle, which is number 13 type. In order to save time, Jigoyan split the first type into 12, so as to deal with different enemies in different environments. End of this chapter. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22. Forcing him to forcibly improve himself. Will he awaken Zebra earlier? Yunshu looked at Tanzi and thought to himself. Now Tanjiro can already use Kagura, the god of fire, to easily deal with the enemy, but the disadvantage is that he is prone to fatigue. After all, if Hino Breath cannot master the complete type, it will consume a lot of energy. The hand ghost that ate 50 humans was personally solved by Tanzi yesterday. Although Yunshu wanted to kill that disgusting guy, he was not Lintaki's disciple, so Yunshu left him to Tanzi-san. Tanzi used Kagura, the god of fire, to easily deal with the hand ghost, and there was no situation where he was almost killed by the hand ghost like in the original book. I can go out in one night, and I don't know if Nezuko is awake. At noon on the 7th day, Yunshu and Tanzi were lying on an open stone. Yunshu likes to lie on the ground and watch the scenery in the sky very much. When he was in Holy Soul Village, he often dragged Tang San to lie on the back mountain together like this. How does Kagura dance work? Yunshu asked. Well, it's very powerful. It's just that each pose consumes much more energy than the water breathing type. Tanzi said quietly. This trial is much easier for him than in the original book. After all, his strength is slightly stronger than the original book, and Yunshu has a lot of food that is not available in this world. Unlike the original play, he lives in fear every day and cannot sleep at night. During the day, you also have to worry about whether there will be ghosts hiding in the shade of the trees and throwing stones at people. Yunshu was considering whether to tell him about the 13th type. If so, with Tanzi's combat talent, as long as he learned Changzong's combat power, he could basically reach ZHU's level. Yunshu is considering the consequences of doing so. If the charcoal becomes a pillar, is it called a head pillar or sun pillar? In the end, Yunshu decided not to say anything for the time being. He came to this world only to wait for Tanzi to open his stripes, and he came to this world for fun. When Yunshu woke up, it was already evening, and Tanjiro was beside Yunshu, muttering something in his mouth. Let's go. We're on the way down the mountain ahead of time. Yunshu stretched his waist and said, Roms, food. When passing by a jungle, a ghost jumped out of its path. Yunshu cut the ghost in half from top to bottom with one knife. Because of the breath of the sun, the wounded ghost cannot recover, and the wound will continue to burn and dissipate, so it didn't take long after Yunshu left. The ghost dies. Sasuke-kun's sword is really sharp. Tanjiro sighed after watching Yunshu cut the ghost with a light knife. Uzumaki Sasuke, this is the name Yunshu gave himself in this world. Of course, it is impossible to compare the Japanese sword with the Kusanagi sword. After all, the Kusanagi sword is a famous sword, and the Japanese sword is just a standard weapon made of special minerals. This is not a solar sword. The breath of the sun emits the same energy as the sun. As long as it is attached to a weapon, no matter what weapon it is, it can be used to kill ghosts. Yunshu explained to Tanjiro. Humans are coming. Tanjiro suddenly smelled a human breath. It should be Lahua Luoxiangne. Yunshu thought to himself, among the few remaining people who can be as stable as them, only the stepson of Changzhu, the swordsman who has mastered this trial. It is very simple for it. As expected, it was the stepson of Zhang Zhu. The other party was just stunned when he saw the two of them, and then the two parties never communicated again. This Kanehu's brain is a little hard, and this Yunshu can't help her. This is caused by the environment in which she has lived since she was a child. I'm afraid that only a gentle and foolish person like Tansy can impress her. The three of them walked quietly from the upper part of the mountain to the halfway up the mountain. Couldn't all the ghosts on the mountain be killed? It was almost halfway up the mountain, and none of the ghosts came to attack them, which made Yunshu a little curious. It should be, because we dare not come over because of the number of us. Tansy guessed. Impossible. If the ghosts are hungry, no matter who you are, they will rush. Say KOKO. KOKO is here. Before Yunshu finished speaking, several ghosts jumped out and surrounded them. Kaneo didn't speak, watching the ghosts surrounding her. She just slowly put her hand on the knife at her waist. Yunshu pulled out the Kusanagi sword, looked at the ghosts around him, and suddenly remembered that he hadn't tried the shape of the breath of the sun since copying Kagura dance, and now so many ghosts can finally use them to try. How Yunshu exhaled a foul breath. Dragon of Sun Halo head dance. A wave of heat was generated on the Kusanagi sword, and then flames were ignited. Yunshu's whole body was like a fire dragon flying, and instantly slashed back and forth between several ghosts at high speed. The few ghosts were all beheaded by Yunshu without even making a pitiful scream. After solving the ghosts on this side, all the ghosts on Chanahu's side have been beheaded by her. They were silent for a while, and then walked halfway up the mountain. Yunshu is not a talkative person, and it is even more difficult to communicate with someone like Kanehu. End of this chapter. Chapter 23 to Douluo. It seems that the result is not much different from the original work. Yunshu stood aside and looked at the remaining people. He, Tansy and Kanehu came out in the first wave. Next is the undead Xuanzuana, who looks very irritable, but is actually a hard-working, strong, kind and good boy. In the end, it was sleeping Zhu, my wife Shanai. This person Yunshu didn't know what to say about him. Anyway, let's just say that. Congratulations, everyone. Two little ghosts with reincarnation eyes came out of nowhere. What are you going to do next? Immortal Xuanzuana said violently. First, distribute the team uniforms, measure everyone's size, and engrave your rank. Classes are divided into A, B, C, D, W, G, Zhen, Xin, Ringui, and everyone is now in the lowest class, GUI rank. Where is the knife? Immortal Xuanzuana said unhappily. Today, I will invite you to choose the bull steel for forging knives, but forging knives will take 10 to 15 days. What are you doing? Before that, the two kids from Ubuayashiki clapped their hands. Gap, gap, gap. A group of crows flew over from nowhere and stood on everyone's shoulders. From now on, there will be crows following everyone, and crows are mainly used for communication. Are you kidding? Undead Xuanzuana drove away the crow with a wave of his arm, and then angrily walked towards the little friend of the Miyashiki family. Quiet. Yunshu came in front of Immortal Xuanzuanmi in an instant, so fast that everyone present did not react. You. Immortal Xuanzuana looked at Yunshu in shock. He is a person who cannot practice breathing techniques, and can only rely on eating ghosts to gain abilities beyond himself. Quiet. Yunshu looked him in the eyes quietly and said again. Undead Xuanzuanmi looked at the child in front of him, who bowed his head, and Yunshu gave him a feeling that was more terrifying than a ghost. Have you finished? The reincarnation-eyed kid looked at Yunshu and Immortal Xuanzuanmi and said indifferently. Yunshu was very curious. Did these two little ghosts have no feelings or feelings at all? In the original book, they looked like they didn't care when someone grabbed their hair. The steel of the forging knife is selected by everyone. Can a knife be made like this? Yunshu took out the Kusanagi sword and handed it to the two samurai imps in front of him. Is it the double-edged sword of the Celestial Dynasty? Tiriya, the women's clothing boss, asked doubtfully. It's almost as long as it's a double-edged sword, and it doesn't have to be made into the same style. Yunshu was afraid that he would not be able to get the grass-shaving sword back if he sent it to the knife-forging village. These two little ghosts are not the same as the group of sword idiots. The swords they make are considered treasures, let alone their country's national treasures. Okay, Tanko, I'm leaving first. Please send my sword to Mr. Mizuzuru Rinaki. I will pick it up in 15 days. Yunshu bid farewell to Tanjiro after getting the team uniform. In 5 days, he planned to go back and see Zhao Wu first. Goodbye. In the hotel outside the Stardow Great Forest, I'm back. Yunshu's figure appeared in the hotel room. What? A scream almost pierced Yunshu's eardrums. Damn it. Only then did Yunshu realize that there were two naked men and women fighting in this room. I'm sorry. Just pretend I haven't been here before. You guys go ahead. Yunshu broke through the door and went straight to Notting City after speaking. Fortunately, I'm just a 6-year-old comrade. After running for about half an hour, Yunshu finally heaved a sigh of relief, as no one seemed to catch up. It was only then that Yunshu remembered that he had been in the world of Ghost's lair for 7 days, and the hotel probably found that there was no one in the room, so he thought that Yunshu had already left. Phew, it's really exciting. After all, that sister just now has a good figure. Yunshu thought to himself when he came back to his senses. After learning concentrated breathing Changshang, Yunshu's overall strength has improved a lot. Although his soul power is only level 12 now, if he adds the dragon fire sword technique, he will at least have the strength to rival a great soul master. Take off. Yunshu found a place where no one was around, spread his wings, and flew towards Notting City. It took too long to walk, and Yunshu was very short on time now. He needs to raise his soul power to above level 30 within 6 years. How to say he is also a systematic person. If even Tang San is not as good as that, he is still playing a fart. The feeling of flying is as comfortable as ever, and Yunshu has gradually become obsessed with this feeling. Not in college. Hey, Tang San, when will Xiaoshu come? Xiaowu pointed to Tang San and asked. Sister Xiaoshu didn't tell me when she left, and I don't know. Tang San felt helpless. He is not a person who likes to fight. When he came to Kish, Xiaowu had already defeated everyone and became the head of the house, so he did not go all out to fight against him with the idea that one more thing is worse than one thing less. It doesn't matter if one's career is not helpful for cultivation. Then he helped Xiaowu to become the big sister of the whole academy. End of this chapter. Chapter 24 Fighting Tank 3. HMPH. It's all your fault that you snatched Xiaoshu's work-study student quota, so Xiaoshu can't come here to study. Sister Xiaowu, don't talk about this matter anymore. Tang San smiled dryly. Xiaowu would complain to him about this almost every day, who made him accept Yunshu's love. If Yunshu had revealed his soul power and martial spirit at that time, Old Man Jack would have chosen to let Yunshu come here to study with a high probability. One is that Yunshu was raised by Old Man Jack after all, and he has deep affection, and the other is that his father Tang Heo was unwilling to let him come here in the first place. Little Tree must have his own ideas. Tang San said, while looking at the blue silver grass in his hand. As the only person in Holy Soul Village who could chat with him, in Tang San's eyes, Yunshu's psychology was very mature, so he must have his own ideas in doing things. That's right. Tang San suddenly realized that it was a male voice. Little Tree. Xiaowu was the first to react. This voice was so familiar to him. I don't think so. Yunshu watched Xiaowu open her arms. HMPH. Xiaowu snorted arrogantly after getting excited. If you don't come again, he will demolish the school. Tang San's voice sounded. It's been almost a month. When I left, I clearly said that I would come to see me soon. HMPH. Xiaowu pouted and said dissatisfied. My fault. Yunshu smiled and raised his hands in a gesture of surrender. I brought you carrots. After finishing speaking, Yunshu took out another bag of carrots from the storage space. Wow. I forgive you. Give it to me. Xiaowu couldn't wait to come to Yunshu and put a bag of carrots into the ring, then took out one and sat aside and began to chew slowly. Xiaoshu, where have you been this month? Tang San looked at Yunshu and asked curiously. Take the risk. Although the soul power has not improved much, but the actual combat ability has improved. Anyway, it is no problem to hit you. Yunshu said with a smile. Are you so confident? I also got my first spirit ring, and my spirit power has already reached level 13. Tang San said eagerly. Come and try. Yunshu jumped back and hooked his fingers at Tang San. Tang San watched the corners of Yunshu's mouth rise slightly, leaped to Yunshu with a stride and punched out. Seeing Tang San's speed, Yunshu raised his eyebrows. Sure enough, after obtaining the spirit ring, his internal strength also broke through. With the blessing of Zuan Shengong's internal strength, his speed was almost doubled compared to the previous growth. However, Yunshu didn't want to panic at all. For Yunshu, who had learned to concentrate on breathing and often, this speed was actually not much different from before, and he took the punch very easily. That's the end of the probing. Now I'm going to be a little more serious. Seeing Yunshu's easy punch, Tang San also understood that the probing attack was useless and was about to show some real strength. No problem, that's exactly what I mean. Yunshu smiled slightly. Come on, Xiaoshu. Xiao Wu's cheering voice came from the side. Yunshu ignored it for the time being. For a martial arts master like Tang San, any distraction or mistake would make him fall into a passive situation. Blue silver grass, entangle. Tang San, who didn't find a flaw, directly launched a soul skill on Yunshu, trying to use the soul skill to force Yunshu to reveal his flaws. It is better to act first. Yunshu missed the opportunity, and now he can only dodge the blue silver grass rolling on the ground. Although Tang San wouldn't necessarily use poison on him, but facing control system spirit masters, he'd better be careful. If this is bound by the blue silver grass, I'm afraid it won't be able to escape. After retreating to 50 meters away, the blue silver grass attack stopped. This is Tang San's furthest attack distance. Beyond 50 meters his blue silver grass would not be able to activate. It's my turn. Yunshu released his Wangyoucao. Sleeping flower blade. The shape of the Wangyoucao grass in his hand suddenly changed, and the blade formed by countless petals shot towards Tang San. The attack distance of his flower blade is much larger than the range of Tang San's blue silver grass. Tang San can only dodge non-stop with Ghost Shadow Fascination. Mysterious Jade Hand. Yunshu found that Tang San was not just dodging, but running towards him while dodging. On the way towards him, some flower blades that cannot be avoided will be bounced away with the Zuan hand. Why do I feel a little restrained? Yunshu said helplessly, and then opened Sharingan. Tang San didn't have a weapon, so he couldn't take out his sword to cut him. It's indeed a mutated Sharingan. It just happens to be able to copy Ghost Shadow Fanzangbu. In Yunshu's eyes, Tang San, who was extremely fast before, has now turned into a slow old man. The footwork of Ghost Shadow Mizan was also perfectly copied by Sharingan. It seems that my own strength still can't keep up with the power of Sharingan. Yunshu found that, although his reaction became faster, his body did not, and his movements became a little more difficult. It's just that it's more than enough to deal with Tang San. Tang San used Ghost Shadow Bewilderment to come in front of Yunshu, only to find that Yunshu's movement seemed to have been expected to dodge his blow directly, and he could directly attack him fight back. So close. End of this chapter. Chapter 25 winning. So close. Tang San made a prompt decision, gave up attacking, and used Ghost Shadow Mistrack to dodge again. I didn't expect the pupil technique you created, Xiaoshu, to be so meticulous in observation. Tang San said in amazement. Hey, low-key Yunshu said proudly. Tang San, go on. The two returned to the original situation. Next, you have to be careful. Tang San tapped the jade around his waist a few times, and then took out a few stones from the soul guide. Are you going to use a hidden weapon? Then I'm not polite. Yunshu took out his Kusanagi sword from the storage space. In the previous few rounds, the two of them did not have a clear winner in physical skills, martial arts and special combat skills, and now they began to use weapons to fight. Dragon Fire Sword Art. Yunshu put on a posture. He didn't know how Tang San was going to throw the stone. Anyway, he just had to prepare defensive skills call out, whoosh. More than 5 stones flew in different directions. Yunshu knew that Tang San would definitely not be able to throw them randomly. Sure enough, in less than 3 seconds, several stones flew towards Yunshu at the same time. It seems that what Tang San used should be the Batwing reincarnation that instantly killed Ziyu and Hulina of Wuhundian Academy. Hey, the 4 shapes Phantom Sunbow. Yunshu evaded Tang San's Batwing reincarnation with high-speed twists and turns in an instant, completing a beautiful dodge dance. Take the shape of the 3rd, the Scorching Sun and Red Mirror. Then, when Tang San was stunned, he exploded at a powerful speed and came to Tang San's side, swung the sword, and threw out a crimson arc-shaped horizontal sword energy slash to the ground. I lost. Tang San resolutely surrendered. Little tree, how did you avoid my Batwing reincarnation? Tang San was shocked. He didn't expect Yunshu to use an indistinct movement to directly avoid the stones flying from all directions. Huanreheng. People with strong eyesight can actually see it, but Tang San's current observation ability is probably not enough to discover a special movement technique. I named him Huanreheng. Yunshu said shamelessly. Anyway, Tang San didn't know how this ability came about. It's amazing. Xiaoshu, your talent can be directly ranked first among the people I know. Tang San's eyes were undisguisedly shocked. He thought that with his talent, he would be able to complete the challenge of no one in Tangman. The hidden weapon that can be done is already a genius. I didn't expect Yunshu to be even more powerful than him. This talent is at least at the level of Ivaldo's. How many people can you know? Yunshu said jokingly. It's also he. Tang San reacted, touched his head, and said with a smile. Rebirth should be regarded as his biggest secret, and he will definitely not tell others easily. I want to fight you too. Seeing that Yunshu had won, Xiaowu came to Yunshu and said, you're so powerful, I'll just admit defeat. Yunshu patted Xiaowu's head and said, HMPH. Xiaowu was immediately upset. Yunshu and Tang San couldn't fight her because they disliked her for being too low. Xiaowu, to tell you the truth, the magic sun rainbow trick just now not only consumed most of my soul power, but also had some indescribable side effects. I couldn't fight until my soul power recovered. Seeing that Xiaowu didn't eat the set, Yunshu pretended to be weak and said while covering his heart, little tree. Xiaowu became anxious when she saw Yunshu like this and hurried to Yunshu's side to support Yunshu, lest he accidentally fall down. It's okay. I know that there is someone who can help me solve this dilemma, so I'll go to him for help after I leave. Yunshu said with a pale face. Alas. Tang San on the side shook his head and left. Xiaowu was not stupid at all. He was so obviously pretending, but in order not to expose Yunshu, Tang San simply left, leaving Yunshu alone. People play. Xiaowu, how is your time in the academy? Yunshu was supported by Xiaowu to a rock, sat down and said, well, it's okay. The college is relatively free, and there are no problems except for the place that needs to be cleaned every week. Cleaning? Yunshu was stunned for a moment, and then he remembered that work-study students need to work at the school in order to go to school for free. Won't you ask your little brothers to help clean? Yunshu asked suspiciously. Hey, that's right. Why didn't I think of it? Xiaowu said in surprise after hearing Yunshu's words. I'll go talk to them later. You're not really collecting protection money, are you? Yunshu suddenly remembered what Xiaowu told him before. At that time, he thought Xiaoshu was just joking, and he didn't know if she did it or not. No. Xiaoshu, didn't you leave some gold coins for me? It's enough for me. Xiaowu patted Yunshu dissatisfiedly and said, that's good. Yunshu was afraid that Xiaowu would really collect protection fees at school. This kind of bully behavior is too sinful. Let's go. I'll take you shopping. Yunshu held Xiaowu's hand and said, it is good. End of this chapter. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.